So I gotta ask you guys: are you the same way? Do you? Is it like Gamescast Day, and you also don't know who's going to be on the show? Because that's how I feel every Wednesday rolls around. I was like, I don't know who's going to be on the show. It made me kind of a surprise.
No, I've got my PSVR Pro calendar, official calendar on my wall. So
I didn't know
it
we
tells
sold
me
that.
exactly. Yeah. It's it told me it was an official store that I bought it from on Etsy, and so it tells us exactly who's on every day of the week.
It takes me about 20 minutes every Wednesday to kind of figure it out, like whose time it is to go on, especially when like Wes was off a couple weeks ago and Ryan filled in. That screwed everything up. Didn't even know who I was anymore. It messed me up that bad.
Have we got it right today, though, Brian? Is it Bennett?
Know.
Is AJ and Miles today?
I'm pretty much to the point where whoever shows up, I'm happy that you're here. Like if Wes tries to join the call, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like first come, first serve.
Yeah, I only have the capacity to like know if I'm gonna be there or not. I have no idea who else is gonna be there that day.
Yeah. The funny thing is I'm way worse, I think, than you guys, because I figure it out. And then 10 minutes later, I go, wait a minute, who was it? and I go, oh, right. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, who was it again? Like, this is the current state of my brain. Nothing's working anymore. So it's going to be a good show. You guys ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Woo!
Let's go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We do it live for your viewing pleasure, but we also care about your oral pleasure. Nope. Keep pointing, Miles. I'll let you know when you get it right. Nope. Nope. Still no. Perfect. That's what it is. Poke yourself in the eye. That's why our good friend Rypop uploads this on podcast services of your choice. I hope. I haven't checked in on that in a while. I'm sure Rypop's still doing his thing. I don't ask questions, and we just assume everything's fine. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR without Parole, and the gentleman to my right, starting in the center of your screen, it's AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
I had no idea who was going to be in the center. What is up, Brian? What is up, Miles?
Okay, I take it back. I take it back. We don't care about your oral pleasure.
Look, he's here, and I still had to think about it. Like he's right here in front of me. I'm staring at him, and I'm just like, who is it? I'm so confused.
I'll wear a name badge next to him.
Yeah, please, for the sake of to help me out there. Happy DJ, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a minute.
I like that it's Juneteenth, but instead you were like, nah, DJ. our holiday is way more. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. And on the right hand side of the screen is Miles Dyer from youtube.com/Miles. Holy shit, dude, coming off of an emotional show, huh?
Yep.
I thought you were going to say more, so I wouldn't have taken a drink of water if I knew that's where it was going to end.
Basically, if you want to see me cry, I know Brian's always wanted to see me cry. Today's show is the one to watch. I'm not going to say a lot about it. There's a story of something that happened in my life I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and it all just came to a T today. And so it's like an hour and 10. It's the most crazy story. It's about something that happened to me 15 years ago. Never told it publicly before. There were some game cats in the chat. Very, very kind and lovely. And I was absolutely in tears by the end of it. So I've dried my eyes, got the hairdryer and just each eyeball. And I think I'm good to go now. So we're good.
Wow. I'm looking forward to actually checking it out. I'm sorry that I wasn't there. But I do have a semblance of the story. But I want to experience the show as you presented it. So guys, yeah, if you haven't subscribed to AJ or Miles, make sure you click on the links in the description below. They should also be prominently displayed on the Without Parole channel, so make sure you do that. Go subscribe to them. While you're subscribing to shit and clicking links, make sure you come join our Discord. The link for that's in the description as well. Over there, you can add viewer takeover questions to get your messages or questions or comments on the air without paying a single penny. We want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to participate in the show. Sometimes the comments that are not tips, this thing, there we go. We want to make sure that everybody gets their voice heard, whether you pay for super chats or not.
It's a really thick microphone stand. That thing takes up like a quarter of your screen.
Yeah,
it's a really big microphone too. You got there.
I like hiding behind it. I don't like sort of
like. I used to hide my gray beard for like this, for like I'd be like every show like this, and then finally I stopped doing it. And it's like, oh my god, AJ, you're all gray there now. I was like, yeah. I just stopped caring. I don't give a fuck anymore.
You have the same patterns that I do in your beard. You've got the two white fangs of white hair here, which mine aren't really showing up because I trimmed them recently.
Beard cast.
The wisdom marks. It's like some Van Helsing looking shit. I don't know what's going on.
Miles, don't worry. You'll know what we're talking about in about 10 years or so.
Yeah. It's I'm still trying.
Yeah. I'm the same age as Miles.
Hey.
Miles is older than me by like almost a year.
Man, I could never grow a beard for the longest time. Always just came out in like horrible patches. But
I got bad genetics. I look more like Brian.
I have bad genetics. I look more like Brian.
You're older than me.
Wow.
Are we more than a minute into the show? Can I say fuck you
guys? A lot older than me. I mean, not just like a little older, like a lot.
Yeah. A lot sexier too.
Just kidding. You know I love you.
Do I though?
I said I love you.
Let's discuss our relationship right now live on the air. I think this needs further examination.
Y'all don't want to know the truth. Y'all don't want to know that.
No, probably not. We got Professor Lilith in the chat with the $5 tip. Says the Sunday multiplayer survey is now posted in the Discord. Choose Ragnarok, Pavlov, or Walkabout Mini Golf. Thank you, Professor Lilith, for always putting these things together every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern over on our Discord. If you got PSVR2 games that you really want to play with other people, and you're like, I don't have any friends. Yeah, you do. Don't lie to yourself. You got friends. You got a friend in me. And you can come play.
I've always wanted I've always wanted it to be Ragnarok, but this is the week where it's like it's got to be Walkabout because of the new game modes, which are amazing. So
it's so going to be Walkabout. You can.
This is not a tip, but can I highlight a quick comment real quick because it is kind of significant?
Yeah.
John Tavares is in the chat.
Hey, John.
And he says in all caps letters, Kayak VR is supposed to be free with PS Premium, and it is still not available for free.
Wow.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
Was it yesterday? From yesterday, right? From
the 18th? I'm sorry. Listen. Was it John? Because I want to speak directly to John.
Yes.
Full screen here. John, maybe you're new, but Sony sucks, dude. Like, they're so bad. And the PlayStation Store specifically is fucking atrocious. Like, I don't understand how anyone is ever confused when something goes horribly wrong on the PlayStation Store. Like a game doesn't come out, or like stealth launches accidentally, or a PlayStation Plus game that we're supposed to have isn't there. Sony fucking sucks. So that's in case you didn't know, in case you're new around here, that's what's going on. I don't have any details other than that.
It's a good description. No, it's very accurate, especially right now. Like, they're like in, we said that they were going to be a mess. This was going to be an interesting time. But this is something that was occurring anyways. So it's not like a huge surprise. It's kind of the equivalent of them tweeting about it and then deleting it and then retweeting it.
Yep.
And then now it doesn't show up. This is Sony's management in a nutshell, really, at the moment.
Speaking of Walkabout Mini Golf, AJ, have you had a chance to check out all the new updates and all the new game modes?
I have not, Brian. I'm sorry. I was actually wanting to,
Okay.
but I got distracted by lots of different things,
I
and
saw you
I
playing
haven't
Returnal
actually.
earlier, so I see.
I was
I
gonna
know that you were
say,
distracted.
yeah, I haven't touched my. I was getting really like excited about the haptic vest. We all got the haptic vest. I don't. Have you guys even touched it yet? Probably
Yeah,
not.
love it.
Oh, you have. Nice.
It's really good.
Um, Brian is probably still in the box.
Dude, my Portal
Um,
showed up today, and like the Gamescast almost didn't happen because I wanted to play on my Portal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so like I was using that vest like for the last like I used it for like a month straight or something and
Yeah.
was loving it. And then, after the announcement for the PC adapter for PSVR2, I've been, you know, it, I've been getting caught up basically having to learn like years and years of PCVR stuff, like basics and advanced stuff in just like the few hours that I have like free time. So but it's been really awesome, and yeah, so I haven't actually touched my PSVR 2, and like this feels like the longest time I've gone without even playing it because I've been trying to learn. So there's a lot to learn with like PCVR and stuff. And yeah, as you may have noticed, I was playing Sackboy Adventure and Returnal.
As I may have noticed, what do
And
you think? I'm paying attention to what you're playing? Absolutely fucking not.
but yeah, no, I actually had some like huge breakthroughs today, so I'm super excited about that.
Nice.
Got them like working in VR, and yeah, just getting ready for PC VR support. So to answer your question, if I've played Walkabout,
Mhm.
no, I have not yet, but I really want to check it out soon because it seems pretty sweet.
Well, a few of us, I believe it was Dan Dunham, me, Miles, Awesome Tatum. We jumped in because we really wanted to check out those new modes, and this is actually the footage from that's being played right now. Uh, Dude, Miles, I mean, simultaneous play is just is a dream come true, don't you think?
It is. I did like simultaneous play. I have to say, for me, the big surprise was the race mode, and the reason why is, at first glance, I thought it was just going to be everyone just keeps hitting the ball and it keeps going.
Yep.
But the brilliance of the race mode is, no, you hit the ball, and then when the ball stops, you can then take another hit. So it's not just about constantly hitting it. You do, in a way, it's actually having to make you just play better overall because you have to do it at speed, but also go for that accuracy. And I found that a lot of times when I'd be playing a normal match and taking my time with a shot and then screwing it up, you're in the flow of it with the race mode, and that's some of the most fun I've ever had. But yeah, I do think the simultaneous is really great. Um, I think it also works for this because I did play Golf Plus on my Quest 3, and they do have continuous play on that mode. But when you're doing like quick play and you're just teaming up with randoms, people would do the sort of simultaneous, everyone would just play at their own rate. And then once they get to the end of the like ninth hole, if you're doing halves, or the 18th hole, they'd just log off. And it just felt really like unsatisfying of like there's no real sense of getting to the end and then seeing what your scores were. But because with Walkabout Mini Golf, you are going to be playing with your friends. You are all going to be there at the end waiting for everyone to finish up at their own pace. And I think it benefits for it. So, yeah, the three modes. I just thought there was going to be like one mode that was amazing and the others were like, nah, not so much. But they all feel very different because it's it's the race mode, simultaneous, and then it's the match point mode. Which I played with some game cats at the weekend, and it was 8 of us, and it still took a long time to do. It was like this was not the right mode with smaller people. And for those that don't understand that mode, the dynamic, when you normally play golf, is that let's just say on one hole you're like 8 over par. For the rest of the whole match, you're going to be like, well, I'm never going to catch up now because I'm like 8 behind.
Right.
The match point mode means that you play a hole together, and whoever does it quickest or in the fewest hits gets a point. And if multiple people do it in the same amount of strokes, you'll get a point. But then it means when you get to the next hole, you're all starting from scratch again. So everyone has, I think it's a lot more fairer. It gives people much more of a shot of winning.
Now you can't do match play simultaneously, right? You have to play
That's
that
true.
turn by turn.
And that was the issue. Yeah.
Okay.
And also we tested it because the question was, when you play Walkabout mini golf and you have someone join later, you always you get the choice between do they just jump to where you are and then it gives them like, I think, par +2 for every hole, or do you play catch up, and if so you have to wait for them to catch up. I've not done it in the simultaneous mode yet because my hope is that if you do that, well, they just play on and you keep playing on and then they'll eventually catch up. In the match mode, the match game mode, they can't join halfway through, which I thought, out of all the modes, surely like by the fourth hole they should be able to join because, you know, they'll have a chance of catching up, but they can't. They literally are locked out. They can only spectate or get kicked, which I thought was a shame.
I wasn't sure how much I was going to like race mode. I thought it was going to be just stupid, and it really is stupid, but like in the greatest possible way. You know, this the timer that counts down, and it's like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and then everybody's just like standing in the same spot and like, you know, putting at the same time, and it's just, oh man, it's just so good. And we played. The funny thing is that we played this Venice course, and I had actually not gotten around to playing the Venice course. I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. Like, not only am I going to try a new game mode, but I'm going to try it on a course that like I've never played before. So I'm going to like, you know, see all the new stuff that I haven't seen before. Nope. I just looked at the fucking floor the entire time. It was like putt, 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 putt. And it's great because the description of the mode is like stroke count doesn't matter. And that's true from a technical standpoint. But like the second, you know, somebody gets it in 2 strokes and you get it in 3, like that extra time, because you really do have to wait for the ball to slow down and stop, and then you run over to it and like, oh, come on, like that right there is can decide who wins and who loses. And so yeah, stroke count doesn't matter on the scoreboard, but it will absolutely affect your time. I love how chaotic it is. I love how fun it is. And I love that you can play through a course with as many people as you want in race mode or regular simultaneous in literally 5 minutes. It's so fast. So I'm really, really enjoying this, like immensely.
Question. How is
you at the back?
How is the remastered Cherry Blossom course?
Miles?
For me, it's the same as when they did it with the tourist trap. I think it's subtle, but I think, I mean, I know for you, like having issues with like the style, it's not going to change that. Like it's still the same style aesthetic, but I think there's just like much better textures. I'm pretty sure this has been added as well, but like there are certain like instruments around the place. Like there's a guitar and drums, and when you hit them, you get the haptics and you can actually play them. It's a nice little thing. So I would say I think it's just subtle. They've just brought it up. Everything has a bit more volume to it, like the trees and that. I think the shadows are improved and like the mist is better. But like it's not a drastic change. I mean, for a lot of the time you're not going to really notice the difference, but
gotcha. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's better than nothing. And for what it's worth, I actually thought Tourist Trap's upgrade was actually, you know, substantial enough to be noticeable, like make a noticeable difference. And yeah, it's one of my favorite courses, so pretty cool.
I think that was a very fair answer you gave, Miles. I think my answer would have been, if you didn't tell me it was upgraded, I wouldn't have known. It's now like, you know, I don't play Cherry Blossom nearly as much as the rest of them. I wouldn't have either known. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known either, probably.
No. As well as, you know, like there are courses that I tend to play more regularly. Cherry Blossom, I've certainly done my share of Cherry Blossom playthroughs, you know, over the last few years, but I don't play it enough. I think I'd have to play it back to back to really notice the differences. So it's nice that they did it. I don't know if it was worth like, you know, getting excited about.
Fantastic game though.
So good
overall.
It keeps getting better. I think this, you know, they've updated the game so many times. There's so many new maps, paid DLC, you know, and you know, when they expanded the whole lobby area to get the putting green and the driving range and all that stuff, like these were massive updates. I feel like this is the biggest update that Walkabout's ever gotten. I think this is the first time it dramatically changes how you play the game, and you know, you don't have to spend a whole afternoon if you play with 8 players anymore. It's great.
This map that you're playing on looks pretty too.
Yeah, this is Venice. Maybe if I looked up every so often, we'd really be able to appreciate it. But there are some nice details.
Nice pizza parlor.
Yeah.
Really, really good. It makes me excited to see what else they can add, because as you say, they keep adding maps and the maps are great, but like the core gameplay, And I know that they've always been wanting to keep it as a chill like game, but like for me, they had a tournaments or progression system. Even like game modes, I think could be possible now, where they do one where it's like the match point one, but it's you start off on a hole, and whoever does it in the most strokes gets eliminated for that hole. And so as you go on each hole, there's a lot of mini games they could do and stuff, and it'll be interesting to see where they take it. But I think if they start giving choices in the core gameplay, I think that's only a good thing.
We get some tips in the chat, guys. Let's check in with. I can't scroll up as much as I want to. Sorry, Kill Artist. Kill Artist 1, the Dreamweaver Game Cat with the $5 tip says, "I appreciate you guys doing a special show just for me on my 49th birthday today. Happy
Birthday!
Birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Listen, if your
Kill
name's
Artist,
yeah,
the Dreamweaver Game Cat.
if your name's not Kill Artist 1, then Wes, are you available to sub in by any chance? Yep. No. Apparently, yeah. If your name's not Kill Artist 1, this stream's not for you. This is a special show just for Kill Artists. So happy birthday, man! Thanks for celebrating with us. We got the Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $2 tip says, "Sup Brian, sup Miles, sup AJ. Hope y'all are well. I'm well. You guys well?
Yeah.
Super well. Never been better.
Well. Chrome Colossus with the $5 tip says, "I saw that PlayStation UK posted a meme of Astro mooning us from a kayak, and then the penguin gives us the finger, and the fennec fox has diarrhea on the orbs." If you didn't see the tweet from PlayStation UK with AstroBot dancing on a PSVR2 headset,
they didn't.
If you'd heard the responses that I heard from people about this tweet, about this GIF, you would have thought that somebody at PlayStation murdered someone. Like that's the type of response that I saw from this thing. Like it was, I thought it was a really benign, harmless, kind of poking fun, teasing tweet.
Not harmless.
I thought it was completely harmless. And then the next thing I know, it's like everyone is up in arms about it. I had no idea that people were going to lose their shit about it.
It was kind of in bad taste, and it was kind of seemed more like a personal tweet than a generic PlayStation UK account kind of thing. I mean, they sometimes like to crack, jokes, and occasionally they get people's attention. But I think the reason this rubbed people the wrong way is because it was a response to I guess negative comments that they receive. I mean, you're a community manager. That's literally your job, is to receive negative comments all day. That's part of the job. That's in the job description, should be able to handle comments that are not necessarily directed at you personally, but at people's, expect for people to use this to respond to you in a way as a venting and expressing their frustration. And and this seemed kind of like it was such a weird tweet. What does it say? Like, when you're mean to me, this is who you're being mean to, and it's showing an AstroBot doing like a little like disrespectful dance or something on top of the.
It's so funny that you see it that way, as like this disrespectful thing. It says, when you mean to me on the line, this is who you're being mean to. And it's like, it's as if Astro is the one in charge of the social media accounts, which is like super cute. I thought, being like, don't be mean to Astro. Astro's adorable. And then he's doing this little dance on top of a PSVR2 headset that here I am thinking, oh, this is cute. It's like PlayStation going, don't worry, we didn't forget you guys. We know that you PSVR2 owners hold Astro very dear to your heart. And then the response was like this fucking insane rant from everybody.
It's the comment is why, Brian. It's not, if
again,
they were
I just explained how I thought the comment should be read, and that's obviously not how anybody else took it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Miles. Miles Direct. Hey, PSVR2 owners. Meat salt in your wounds. Oh, man. This is great. Perp Games chimed in.
I mean, as soon as I saw it, it's like it's totally in the keeping of this kind of stuff they do. But for me, I was like, it's just an unintentional, very tone deaf fuck you in terms of how it looks. I was being playful with my tweet. Like I'm glad that they're posting stuff like this because it gets people championing it even more and more. But
Yeah.
I totally get why they post it. It's just like read the room. That's
I
kind of what
mean,
it felt like.
exactly. I mean, it's like it's bad enough that we have to deal with Sony's incompetence with PSVR2, but now you're gonna spit on us too. Like fuck off, Sony.
Wow.
Fuck off.
But this is a constant theme we always talk about on Without Parole. Brian is just the obsessive optimist. He just so always looking on the bright side of stuff. And like, I don't know. You know me, I like to always look at the.
I mean, the fact
downside.
that people read it as a big fuck you, as a big slap in the face to PSVR 2 owners, I think immediately should have made a statement to yourself, to anybody who read it that way, and said, "Well, no, that's why would they ever do that intentionally? Like, maybe we're
It's not
misreading
intentionally.
this."
That's why it's we're saying it's not intentional.
It's not intentional.
Perfect.
Which is why
Then I'm glad we all came out the other side and said, as people aren't intentionally being mean, why would we treat people as if they're being mean? I like it. I'm glad we all ended up on the same page about that one. Excellent. All right, you guys. What is next? Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. That was from a tip, right? So thank you very much, Chrome Colossus, for sidetracking us. I love getting sidetracked here. Ali Hembre D, Catalergic Game Cat with the $5 tip says, "Hey guys, since there are less weekly shows now, and I can't always catch you live, how can to support AJ, Miles, and Wes? Which platform do each use?" We're all on YouTube, and
yes,
and catching us live on YouTube or in tipping, or I think all of us have a Patreon. Do Virtual Strangers have? You don't, Miles?
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I do have a Patreon, but I don't really use it. Just like YouTube membership. That's it for me. But appreciate all the support.
Yeah, agreed. Here, let me heart that. Bell Ramy, the Game Cat with the €12 says, "I assumed you need term P tips to read. So read this. I don't know what term P means. Maybe it's a. Oh,
Term
by
P.
the way,
Yeah,
tell
term
AJ
P.
he has to play Fantasian when it comes out. What is Fantasian, and why is Belramune telling you need to play it, AJ?
I have no idea.
Excellent.
But I will write it down somewhere. Fantasian. if I had a pen.
I'm gonna write down Termpy because it's my new favorite word. Termpy.
Good. I'm glad I'm not alone on that.
Termpy VR would be a good title. Just saying, I'd play it. Termpy VR.
Guys, who played Tarzan this week?
Not me.
I did not.
Wonderful.
But I hear one lucky person did.
I was meaning to tell you. I know you sent me a review key, and thank you so much. I very much appreciate you, Brian, and I hope if there's more games coming out that you are willing to assist me. But that one you could straight up have back. I don't even want. I would rather. I would have rather have tinkered with PC for the 5-10 hours I did, and I still had more fun than I would have playing that game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little crazy that a lot of stuff just wasn't updated the way you'd expect it to. Like the collision seems like it's still a mess. Combat is still a mess. Just like not really fun. It's more work than it should be. As you can see, I'm taking forever just to kill this fucking alligator or crocodile or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, it's very much the same game with way better controls and much nicer graphics. And this is kind of the definition of like you can't polish a turd. It's like just a really shiny looking turd now. The game was never good. Yeah, in fact, in my review, I said that I overrated it the first time around. So despite the fact that this is the definitive way to play the game, it still got a lower score than it got last time because I was trying to right or wrong on the channel. So I think it went down from a 4.7 to a 4. It's playable. Some things have been fixed, like the like grabbing vines. Sometimes it was really difficult to get the next one. Now it is totally fine, and there are fun things about it. I do like anything that has gives me things to collect. I love swinging through the vines. Climbing is fun, but man, there's very.
I couldn't do it, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. I'd much rather. There's too many good games on this platform.
Yep.
For me to waste my time with this. And the first experience I had with this was torture. I think I live streamed my full playthrough and
smashed the lock, Tarzan.
It still haunts me to this day. Like I just Yeah, I got like bad chills, like shudders when you said that.
All right, guys. The thing that's kind of been on everybody's mind. I'm gonna see if I can't throw it into the chat. There we go. There's the link in the chat to the survey we're about to take. If Sony put out a survey, it doesn't seem like it went out to everybody, but it is about PSVR2. And if you're a PSVR2 owner and you want to chime in on everything that's happening on PSVR2, you want to let Sony know. This survey seems like the best way to do it currently. I have not taken this survey. Gentlemen, have you?
I have not, but I'm going to do it after the show because I've got the link here now.
I did it while I was waiting for the show.
Oh, interesting. Well,
it's really short. It's like literally like 3 parts to it.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like 3 pages.
Well, then let's do it.
One of the questions isn't how sad were you when AstroBot was not confirmed for PSVR2?
Yeah, and one thing we did some people, the optimistic people did point out too is that they were saying that, what if this is a hint of, them saying this is Astro on PSVR2 or some kind of hint coming to PSVR2. And I think that is worth pointing out, but I think that this person, when I looked up their account, they're just like one of the background people for like the access channel. And I don't know. Maybe Miles, you know them better, but I was like, this person would not probably be giving like inside info like that, or hinting at anything like that. I wouldn't think.
Listen,
that's about right. As
the eternal optimist in the room, apparently today, usually
every day.
Usually it's Miles's role, but I guess I'm taking it these days. I firmly believe that we will see a PSVR2 AstroBot game designed for PSVR2 by Team Asobi. I don't know when, but I feel like it's got to be in development already. I can't believe that as big as they are, as big as this team is, that they've got that they're working on one game at a time, and that it's all AstroBot. So I do feel like maybe after AstroBot comes out, give it a few months. I can't imagine we don't see a rescue mission too. But you know what? That's the kind of thing that in my head makes sense. And then also in my head, what makes sense is we have a port of Everybody's Golf, that we have a port of Blood and Truth, that we have a port of AstroBot Rescue Mission 1, that we have a port of Farpoint, right? But so all the things that make sense to me are not always the things that make sense to Sony.
Yes, Sony's not really about making sense.
Right.
That's not really their style.
Sense.
All right. First, we need to confirm your age because we can only survey adults. Who's going to say no? I'm not.
We can only survey.
How satisfied are you with PSVR2?
What happens if you prefer not to answer?
Try it. See what happens. Let me know.
That's such a weird thing to put.
All right.
You're only allowed to hear from adults. Well, I prefer not to answer because I don't lie, but
Quantic Dream games are getting way more dull. How satisfied are you with your PlayStation VR2? Wow, that is a tough question to answer. I need a comment box. I'm going to say somewhat satisfied.
If you say, I think if you say somewhat dissatisfied, it will actually say, why did you pick that answer?
It'll ban you. It'll ban you from PSN.
It'll ban you. Lock your PSN account.
Okay. No matter what you click, it says, please tell us why you gave that answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Love the headset.
You're somewhat, are you? Somewhat interesting.
Where are the ports of your PSVR 1 games? Farpoint. AstroBot.
I think I left a similar answer. I said, yeah, there's 0 remasters of your best first party titles, which is why I was somewhat dissatisfied. I also said you also make a lot of anti-customer decisions. I went in on this one. I was kind of angry. Like I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I've tried playing the positive role. I've played good cop before, or good customer before. Now I'm playing angry customer to see if it'll change things.
Oh yeah. You going from good cop to bad cop.
Exactly.
Well, Jim Ryan's going to come out of retirement and fix everything now.
No, please stay retired.
Right.
Jim
Why
Ryan.
can't we buy controllers separately? We need more first-party support. Support. I can't spell. People are calling PSVR2 dead. You need to change their minds. And listen, last time I did one of these live, people like commented after the fact, like, "Why'd you go so easy on them?" And so, like, this is your only chance.
Leave a poop emoji. Put a poop emoji.
Hey, I'm somewhat satisfied. I'm not somewhat pooping.
And a flame next to it.
Yeah, that's it.
A flaming poop.
Like so anybody in the chat is like, why, like that's gonna wait till after the show and comment and be like, hey, how come you went so easy on them? Please fucking tell me right now.
Add 3D movie support because people asked for that. What do you guys want? Because they're gonna do exactly what Brian puts in this chart.
Yeah, right.
There's definitely somebody listening to this thing that cares and could make a difference.
What else? 3D
I
movie
put
support.
extremely satisfied, and my answer was, why did you give that answer? I put, because Jim Ryan's here pointing a gun at my head. Help me!
Send help.
Send help.
Hybrid games. Lots of people are saying they want more new hybrid games.
There's no character limit. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, let's get it all in here. This is the diary of a PSVR2 survey.
Yeah, you can stretch the chat box down. So
YouTube VR. Yep, lots of
stretch
YouTube VR.
in the bottom right corner under where it's got the up and down. Oh, sorry, I'm not looking. I'm looking on replay, so you're probably doing it, and I can't see.
I can't.
But where you got the up and down to the right of the box, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said you could stretch it.
Yeah, stretch it down to make it bigger. Maybe you can't.
I can't. It won't let me do it. Weird. All right.
And then at the end of it, put signed the people.
Wes says, I wrote a book. Did it start? Once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a PSVR2.
Chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1. Prologue.
All right. Cool. Oh, there's more questions. Okay, perfect. How satisfied are you with the following aspects of PSVR2? Overall ease of use of VR2. Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, I'm going to say extremely.
It's very easy.
That's the wrong one, though.
There we go. That's the best thing about it, is how easy it is to use.
Comfort of the headset. Listen, just because I hear the complaints, I said neutral because
neutral.
Yeah, well, neutral. You know, man. Like
I think somewhat satisfied. It's not as comfortable as PSVR 1, but it's so much more comfortable than the Quest. Like so much more.
Well, listen, we're not comparing PSVR 2 to the Quest. We're comparing PSVR 2 to what we want.
Because when you said the overall ease of the use of PlayStation VR2, I would have had it like the strongest, like extremely satisfied. Whereas I'd now put somewhat, just because I have used the Quest, and like when I'm showing it to friends and family, the PSVR2 having to get the sweet spot and stuff like that, it made me realize, okay, it does take a lot, like swapping it from head to head, like it takes a bit of setup and stuff. But for me personally, yeah, I suppose extremely satisfied. So it's
yeah.
tough.
I mean,
if you ever hang out in our Discord and you see people who aren't us, you hear people complaining about the comfort all the time, and so I'm just trying to use my survey as less about what I want and more about what I hear everybody saying. PlayStation VR 2 games not available on other headsets or on other VR headsets. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say somewhat dissatisfied. Yeah, because even though like if you bought a PSVR 2 right now and like there's just like all these games that you're not gonna find on Quest, plenty of them that you're not gonna find on PC. It's like we've all been playing this thing for 16 months now, and it's like we need the announcement of more on the way, and I think we definitely need to convey that to them.
I feel like that's a really terrible question the way it's framed, because like will they understand, unless the next slide is going to be to explain each of those answers, but like that could be interpreted in such a way, because like saying somewhat dissatisfied might be saying you're not satisfied with the exclusives, as in like the exclusives we have done like Synapse and stuff, you're not, so you don't like those when we're doing the exclusives.
It can be a little vague, but I think it's talking about the strength of the games that are on
exclusive.
there.
Yeah. Anyway, overall
The
library of
exclusive.
PSVR 2 games available. I'm gonna say somewhat satisfied.
I'm somewhat satisfied.
Yeah. Like, listen. What? Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah.
I'm either somewhat satisfied or somewhat dissatisfied, or no, I'm probably neutral. I guess
I'd probably be neat.
I'd probably say neutral because like there's some amazing games on PS5.
Yeah.
But there should be so many more.
I'll go neutral because I agree. The fact that we are seeing we are seeing a few studios put PSVR 2 in the backseat or back burner the port or whatever and say, hey, like we got to focus on Quest, which is great. You know what I mean? It's like just because we're getting a game a little bit later, that kind of thing. But there's plenty of games like Dirt that we should absolutely have. The F1 game that everybody wanted. What was the motorcycle racing game that you played recently, Miles?
Oh, V-Rider.
Yeah, like these are all games that we if not on the headset already should be at least announced for the headset. And so, yeah, I guess I'm going against what I previously said because now I am comparing it to other libraries. So, gaming performance, i.e. speed, graphics, sound, etc. of your PlayStation VR 2.
I'd say
great.
Extremely satisfied.
Yeah.
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 Especially now, like I would say, 16 months ago, a lot of people more people would complain about reprojection, more people would complain about Murrah. It seems like developers are kind of like finding their way around this stuff with, using DFR and understanding that like 60 reprojected isn't preferable if we can get away from it.
Yeah, or going back and updating it. But yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits is a lot of the games are super polished.
Games released recently for the PSVR 2.
What does that mean, man? How recently? Like
recently, right?
Yeah. I mean, on the one hand, you got like Madison and stuff like that. I'd say is quite recently,
amazing,
and excellent. But then on the other hand, there are, when did Legendary Tales come out?
February.
It was this year.
Yeah. February, and I think
5 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got Resident Evil 4 in December. So I mean, like, yeah, what is recently? Is it the last month? The last 2 months? 3 months? I don't know. So I'm just gonna say somewhat dissatisfied to cover all bases.
Yeah.
Let's see what the next page says. Anything else you'd like to tell us about your PSVR 2?
Oh.
I mean, I said a lot in the last text box they gave me. I think I ran out of steam.
Yeah, it'd be like book 2. What? Just lay out a whole other thing.
Yeah, for real. I'm wondering. There's got to be. I don't want to waste this. Somebody gives you a text box.
I mean, I would personally clarify the answer around PSVR 2 exclusives, which is the exclusives have been great, but there's just not enough. Because well, I mean, look, when we do the top 25, most of the top 25s are PSVR 2 exclusives, aren't they? GT7, Resident Evil.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at the chat. I want to see what the chat is saying here. Sorry, sirens on my end.
Controllers, people are saying, like you can't buy controllers separately. That's great.
I got that in the last text box.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah. Actually, Cornerstone City 777 says price, and so I think we should lean into that. The price,
and saying that
prohibit. I don't know how to spell prohibitive.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, that's I can't see it.
Oh, right.
Delay for me. Yeah, but yeah, no, I agree with that. Which is, we want more people to be playing PSVR 2, so you got to have a lower price point. So it's
bring back dreams.
Oh my god. Also, yeah, dude, who said bring back dreams? I know AJ said it, but did somebody in the chat say it?
Chrome Colossus.
All right, I'm all capital letters.
Yeah, man.
Was the killer app on PSVR 1. All right. Thank you for your response. Blah blah blah. Recorded. Great. And that's how you waste lots and lots of time. Yeah, Thundercat, we got the app support in the last text box. I hope I covered everything that everybody wanted to hear. Cool. The link, I put the link for that in the in the chat. Hopefully, here I can put it again in case anybody missed it. Everybody, make your voice heard, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's one thing. It's one thing to come to Without Parole and leave a comment being like, "Man, PSVR2 sucks" because blah 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 blah. But man, if you want to tell that to the people who can actually make a change, like I can't make a change, AJ can't make a change. He thinks he can make a change. It's adorable, but like Miles can't make it. Like we
all can together. Brian
right.
is what if we
strength in numbers.
That's right.
Excessive numbers. It's not just about one person, of course.
You took the words right out of my mouth, AJ. It must have been while you were kissing me.
What?
Please listen. Please don't tell me
sexual.
Please
don't make this sexual.
Please don't tell me you have no idea where that song lyric came from.
I don't know song lyrics. I'm a musician that plays instruments.
I'm a musician that does not listen to other musicians.
No, I don't listen to lyrics. I hate singers, but I love
hate.
I love instrumentalists.
Right? Oh my God.
Except for you, Miles. You're I like you.
In a far gone era.
Once upon a time, I used to be a singer-songwriter. Thank you so much for the chat, like making me restoring faith in humanity. God damn it. It's a Meatloaf song, AJ.
I hate Meatloaf.
I'm so fucking done. Listen.
I'm just saying things now.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
I would do anything.
Please send your hate mail to AJ at psvrunderground.com.
Send it to fake email at fake.com.
Nice. Hold on a second. I want to make sure we didn't miss one. JPEG Q with the $3 tip says, much love, guys. Never stop, never stopping. Very nice. Thank you, sir. Belramia the Game Cat with the 24 euro says, need to clarify, I meant more tips. Autocorrect for the win. Also, Fantasian is the last game of More Sirens on my end. Sakaguchi, Final Fantasy inventor, and music from Uematsu. Very Final Fantasy VII like, and so far Apple exclusive, but coming to Switch and PlayStation. Oh, dude. Okay, now I remember this game because I remember when hearing about it and being like, oh, I don't want to play it on my phone. And now I don't have to. I can play it on my Portal.
I prefer Turn P.
Turn P was really nice. Sweet.
I like it a lot.
Okay. Pietrek F with the 12 plantain says, fuck PSVR 1 ports. Where are the hybrids?
Whoa.
Hey man, we want it all, and we want it now. You're welcome. All right, you guys. We're gonna talk about Stellar Plans a little bit here. The plans that Stellar Plans have for their PSVR 2 plans. You guys familiar with Stellar Plans? I feel like this one didn't really. I really wasn't familiar with it until very recently, in the last month or two.
Yeah, same. This is news to me.
Had never heard of it, but obviously it's been getting a lot of attention lately because they gave like a status update, and then they had mentioned PSVR support, and then they've actually been getting tons of support from the PSVR community, which is kind of put a spotlight on them recently.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling it a survival first-person shooter, and everything they've showed on Twitter, they do these constant updates over there. If you scroll through their Twitter feed, like you just see so much that the game has to offer. But let's see, their most recent post, as of I believe this morning. Let's get this up on the screen right here. See if I can't make it big enough to read. Stellar Plan says, thank you for your attention. While I know this may disappoint some, I believe honesty is paramount. Miles, can you weigh in on this? Does this sound like an AI generated post? Because even using the word paramount, it seems like it might be.
I feel like AI would have known how to do paragraphs.
True. The initial the initial development plan. Yeah, instead, here's a wall of text. And the initial development plan was 1, PCVR, 2, Quest, 3, PSVR. Seeing the enthusiasm for PSVR, I've decided to advance the PSVR development plan. I had an in-depth discussion with the boss of our partner company about PSVR2 development. We have previously developed PSVR versions of other games, so my PSVR version will also be developed there. He shared a wealth of data, indicating that Quest sales are 10 times higher than PCVR, while PSVR sales are relatively low. He advised me to focus on one platform, gather feedback, and then consider other platforms. We unanimously agree that perfecting the PCVR version is currently the most important. Engaging gameplay is crucial, and blindly developing other versions may backfire. Finally, I'd like to talk about the specifics of PSVR2 development. Unlike other platforms, developing for PSVR requires registering a company to apply as a developer and to obtain development equipment. Since I am currently working on this game alone, pretty impressive based on what I've seen, I can only rely on my previous boss for PSVR2 development. Unfortunately, the development sequence will continue as 1, PCVR, 2, Quest, 3, PSVR 2. I don't want to deceive anyone, so I've decided to share our conversations with you all. Thank you for understanding and support. Interesting. Very interesting. Starting, I mean, dude, I have so many thoughts about this. It is fascinating to me that when the different developers tweet about VR, the PSVR fans, and thankfully a lot of GameCasts, but obviously there's always people that I don't recognize. So I love seeing people from outside the community chime in. They come out in droves.
Yeah.
It's kind of boggling my mind a little bit. You know, like what have we sold? We don't know how many units PlayStation VR2 has sold yet, right? But Quest being about 10 times that number sounds accurate. Why is it that the PSVR 2 gamers are so vocal and so supportive of different development studios, and they get out there in droves when these conversations come up?
I think in part it's, firstly, I think there's a demographic shift between people that are PSVR2 gamers versus MetaQuest gamers. Also, I think the fact that the MetaQuest is such an easy headset, it's often, if it's the Quest 2, cheaper. It's easy to put on and just get going with a lot of short experiences. I think that it's not always the case. There's a lot of people that use the Quest headsets for PC VR and also for like actual gaming. But I just feel that the biggest, although they sell a lot of headsets, it's going to be people that, you know, aren't fully like advocates of it per se. They're just like casual gamers. I think there's a lot more casual gamers. It'd be very difficult to be a casual VR gamer and to invest into a PSVR 2, in my opinion. And so I think that tied to the fact that there's a lot of appetite. People want to see PSVR 2 supported more. So when they see developers entertaining the idea, they're going to full-throatedly support it and say, yes, we want you. Come on over. So I think it's an amalgamation of those few things.
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. And I'll echo it. Virtual Strangers, shout out to our fourth co-host in the chat. Says PlayStation gamers are true hardcore gamers. PC gamers are partially tech enthusiasts, and Quest gamers are casuals. And I was thinking something similar in my head. It's just that, you know, people that have PSVR 2s, kind of like what Miles said too, or was pointing at, are gamers first and foremost. Like a lot of us came from console gaming backgrounds. I would say a lot of us play, like, you know, have grown up in PlayStation, Nintendo, ecosystems a ton. So that's a big thing. So whenever there's a talk about surrounding a game, there's tons of interest as to what the game is about, and showing support for it.
And what about you, Brian?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm fascinated by the idea. I know that End Dreams took a poll not the other day. Jesus Christ, it was like probably 6 months ago, and they said, you know, like what are you playing VR games on, or whatever it was, and like the majority of people that came out and voted were we're PSVR2 gamers, right? So it just seems constant. It doesn't matter where you go. And so it's really reassuring to see that, that maybe PSVR2 is bottom when it comes to the sales charts, but like 100% on top when it comes to the passion and the enthusiasm behind real VR gaming. So I just thought it was like kind of exciting to see. This guy's obviously, he's had a conversation with one person, his boss, and I don't think that tells the full picture as far as sales are concerned, because we have heard from different developers, oh, most of our sales came from PSVR 2. That is not the most common answer you'll hear. Definitely the most common answer you'll hear is, oh, our sales were definitely highest on Quest. Like that is probably 7, 8, possibly 9 times out of 10 the answer you're going to get. But like there are exceptions. And so, great games really sell over here too. So yeah, it's just something I wanted to bring up, and just also, always want to give a shout out to any developer who's, really taking their time, and it looks like developing like a big fucking game, right? There's certainly the single person dev teams who are like, oh, I'm just one person, so this is all I could make, and be like, well, that's my excuse for what the game ended up being, right? But there's plenty of single person dev teams that create these big adventures, create beautiful worlds, create interesting gameplay. And this just kind of proves it. I mean, I haven't played this, so I can't say this proves it, but based on what I've seen, this looks fucking great. Not sure Brondo with the level 3 membership says, I'm only here to listen to Miles sling around modern words.
Modern words like what? Like temp. Oh, I can't forgotten what the word was now.
Tempera. No idea.
I have no idea. I have no idea what modern words these are you're talking about. But
guys, how is the temperature there? Like, are you guys like in a heat wave too? Are you guys struggling?
No, I mean it's getting warm, but it's not hot yet. Just because the last few years we've had it go into the triple digits, and we don't have aircon over here. So
Crazy.
yeah.
When the end of the world happens, the UK goes first. Yeah, it's pretty miserable over here. I'm not gonna lie. We've also had a air quality warning for the next few days. So, yeah. So also, I have no idea like if you guys can hear my AC like rattling away in the background. So I do apologize if that's distracting. Guys, next up, Dreams is sharing some never before seen Synapse content. This is, I don't know. I think this is pretty exciting. I always like when we see maybe shit that could have been, or some maybe like early ideas that never made it into the game. They said that leading up to the 1-year anniversary, they're going to be showing off some stuff that some never before seen content for Synapse. What do you guys expect to see?
Bosses they didn't put into the game because they thought no one would want them.
Yeah,
and then boss, they went, oh yeah, we had this end boss, but we just felt it's not what people want at the end, so we just didn't put it in. So maybe that
early concept art.
Yeah, it would be cool to see concept art and that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see concept art. I'd love to see bosses,
DLC.
maybe some stages that didn't make it in. But I think that's the sad part of all of this, is that like it's gonna just be like, oh, there was so much more planned that just didn't fit into the schedule. This was developed pretty quickly, it seems. And that's why, when everyone complains about content in Synapse, that's the reason. They just didn't have the time to get everything in that they wanted. So I'm excited to see what they have to share, but at the same time, I think it's going to be sort of disappointing, because I don't know about you guys. I don't think there's any chance in hell we're ever getting DLC for this game. I think just like Fract, right? Fract absolutely could have used DLC, and we never got it.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I don't know if it is something, then this is going to be the moment we'll get it teased. Like, I think if it's not teased during this moment, then I think it's definitely not happening. because you're going to leave it too long for the momentum to matter in that way. But yeah, God, I'd love to play more Synapse.
Mischievous Markio, the Underground Gamecast, says DLC would revive this game. Maybe some DLC. I know it's not, you can't just flip a switch and add multiplayer, but man, I think people would love to run through these levels with a friend. I think there's a lot of things that could revive this game. Weekly
modifier challenge leaderboard is something I always suggested from the get-go, which was if every week they were like, this is the level, this is the modifier we're adding in that just either changes your weapons or the enemies, and there's a leaderboard for that week that you're playing again of like who can do it in the quickest time. That sort of stuff would keep me coming back for sure. But again, like with all these things, much easier said than done.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, I actually don't have this on the Run of Show, but we haven't talked about the sales charts that popped up over on the PlayStation blog.
Ooh. I have no idea.
Yeah, I actually don't either. So,
what do we think's number one?
Star Wars.
Ah, you've seen it. Or have you seen it?
What have you memorized as number one?
I covered it on my show.
Oh, okay. But that's interesting. And is that just because of May the 4th? Is that what it's going to be?
Yeah, it was still part of that promotional sale when it was like $13. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But number two will make a lot of people happy. Made me happy.
I finally found it. Yeah, dude, Star Wars had a massive discount, and that's all it took. I think a lot of people were holding off. $50 seems like such a, massive ask for a game that was an upgraded version of a Quest 2 game. But let's scroll, you guys. Scroll. PSVR 2 games.
Is it on the PlayStation blog?
Yeah, here. I can throw you the link real quick.
Send me a link. Yeah.
Boink.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you, Brian.
Dude, yeah. So number one, Star Wars: Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Same in the US and EU. Number two does make me extremely happy to see Madison VR.
Wow.
Yes.
You guys
on both regions.
Are you guys surprised? Like, I mean, being a game that, unlike Resident Evil, this is a horror game, period, right? Yes, there's puzzles. Yes, there's shit to do. But, like, you're not playing this if you don't like horror. Resident Evil,
well,
you might play that either way.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not. This is known as being like, if you're on the edge of horror, this is full out horror. This is unapologetically the scariest thing you're going to experience. What I think is interesting, actually, is just assuming here, if it wasn't for the Star Wars deal and the May the 4th thing, then Madison could have very well been number one, which is amazing. And also, like, Madison, just from the vibe on social media, I mean, Perp Games have absolutely been knocking out the park. Yeah. But obviously, the game speaks for itself because of what it is. It lends itself for people just absolutely scared out of their skins playing it. But I'm super, super happy to see that.
The feeling I had, I was proud. I was proud of so many people going out and, because this is one of the scariest games I've ever played. And so it just made me feel incredibly proud that despite it being super scary, that so many people out there wanted to have a, really next level experience, which I think this game also is. And we've professed our love over and over for this game, and think everybody should play it. And it's just a hell of an experience, a very memorable one.
And it also vindicates the importance of delaying a game until it's right. Now, of course, it was going to be in October, would have benefited from it. But now they've got it right, and it's come out the gates with great reviews, great sales, great word. Once we get to October this year, it'll do well again, because they can just do a whole new wave of promotion of, like, if you got VR and you want something scary for Halloween, this is the game to play. So it just shows that, delaying a game until it's right was absolutely the right way to do, right thing to do. And I'm really glad that they were rewarded for taking that decision.
Staff and Stuff in the chat, all capital letters, writes Spoilercast. And our good friend GameCat Andrew Ehrenreich, with the level 2 membership, says PSVR 2's dead. That's right. Dead serious about going to Itchy and Scratchy Land. Anyways, are you still doing a Madison Spoilercast? I have questions. Listen, I'm fucking down. I am so down. And actually, we're kind of in the middle of a slow week or two, possibly. I'm expecting compound keys to be coming through soon. But it just seems like this is sort of the time to do it if we're going to do it. I don't know. I don't want to try to organize something right now, but I'm going to. I would love to do it, Friday night or something. If you guys are around, Wes is hopefully in the chat. Let me know what you think. But let's organize that and make it happen soon, because I definitely want to do a Madison spoiler cast. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't talk about, simply because we just didn't want to ruin it for anybody. There's so many great scares. There's so much great story stuff, and I want to talk about it while I'm still very, very passionate about the game. So let's do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Yep. Still, I want to do it while I still remember everything there is to talk about.
3 and 4 on the list are just inverted on the US and EU sales charts. Beat Saber and Job Sim, no surprises there. Those are staples on the list. We also got Legendary Tales. Did Legendary Tales disappear from the list for a while, or has it been holding on
for 1 month, and then it came back because it went on sale for some amount? It was like $45 or so.
Yeah, it wasn't a crazy sale. It was just enough to take the edge off people who thought it was a little too expensive, which, in all fairness, as much as I love the game, it was a little too expensive.
Yeah.
Yep. Made it on the EU charts a little further down, number 8.
Still got my money's worth out of it.
Waltz of the Wizard was on sale, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on sale for dirt cheap, like
really?
$5. Yeah, $5-7 range.
Yeah, and the word we're getting about these sales charts is that this has nothing to do with the number of copies sold. This has everything to do with how much money, the revenue, which is crazy to me. I never would have suspected that that's how these sales charts are run. You would have thought, hey, how many copies did it sell? Number 1 on the charts, but no, it's how much revenue was there. I
kind of think that makes sense, because
it's not.
We've seen what's happened on Quest lately.
Say again?
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not the top number of downloads. It's based on revenue that it's generated.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Shocker, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I only learned that about a month ago. Insane. That it should not be how this is run.
And that explains a couple things for sure.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Because what's been happening with Quest the last couple of weeks, you've probably all noticed, was there was in ridiculous discounts for Max Mustard. I can't remember. It was $3. It was worth a couple of dollars. And what the clever thing they did that was sneaky was the discount was external to the Quest store. So you used the code, you got the discount. It got to number 1 in the charts, or pretty high up. But anyone looking at the charts would have seen Max Mustard at full price. So it's now ranking high because the promos they're doing are external. And you know what? Loads of other games have jumped on it, and everyone there's 5-6 games that are all doing it now, getting on the charts now. So
yeah, and then they go on social media and they go, "We're number 1. Thank you so much, everybody." Yep. I saw that. I was like, Yeah. I mean, it's a smart little marketing tactic, but yeah, when you look behind the curtain, it's like, oh, well, it's because it was $1.
Yep. I mean, listen, I'm happy that those games are getting the attention they probably deserve, right? Sushi
maybe
Ben
it gives it a boost.
Yeah, and I really don't think Sushi Ben is the kind of game that a lot of people just would give a chance to otherwise. But they say, hey, it's cheap, and then or other people see that it's top on the sales charts. And, maybe we should give this a shot. So it works. I think that works. Waltz of the Wizard, Pavlov, Jurassic World, Stride Fates. Of course, it was going to show up in Among Us VR. For the most part, quality titles. I'm so happy that they made Stride Fates at least look better.
Yeah. I said the same thing. I was like, at least they updated it. It's still not a great game, but at least it's not a complete. Well,
I thought it was interesting. Among Us VR's doing well on it, and it's not because it's a bad game, because I think it's an awesome game. It's just that Among Us lends itself more to casual gamers, I would have felt. So I was surprised to see it have the staying power that it does. But Although it is a casual game, I think it does appeal to people that perhaps wouldn't normally jump into sort of social things, because it's really, really fun.
I think it's funny the number of times that we've brought up casual gamers and what headset they play on and what kind of games that they play, and just coming right up here in the run of show is a whole section about casual games that are coming to PSVR 2.
Whoa!
Right? This would have made a way better segue like 15 minutes ago, but let's go with it now. I definitely want to know how you guys feel and how the chat feels about all of these kind of casual games coming to PSVR 2. In case you haven't been keeping up, there's a good handful of them. We've already got the Forever Bowl game. We've already got the Forever Pool, and then we're adding to that very soon with Darts VR2 Simulator, Bocce VR Simulator, and Forever.
What's Bocce? What is Bocce? I've never heard of.
I want to say it's Italian. It's the one where you like you throw the small ball to the edge.
It's like bowls, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you know? Did you have a PS3 Move controller camera? The whole thing.
I know they had it on there, did they?
There was a bocce game in Sports Champions 1. Sports Champions 2 was weird, but still good. Yeah. So yeah, you throw the little goal ball across the yard, and then everybody, throws or rolls their bigger, heavier balls. Make jokes in the comments, and you try to get close to the target ball. But of course, while doing so, you're going to knock everyone else's balls out of the way. That kind of stuff. It's
kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a game I really enjoyed growing up, and we would always play at family gatherings. So I played in real life, and then on PlayStation 3 in Sports Champions, my dad and I spent a shocking amount of time playing bocce ball. So listen, these games are fun, right? Although the trailer for Cornhole VR, I'm just like, I don't know. Does the existence of casual games like somehow lessen the good games we have in the library? I just kind of want to know where you guys stand on all these things sort of just popping up. It almost feels like the era of shovelware is about to hit us, but at the same time, if they're quality games, then that is not a true statement.
I just wish they were unified. We talk about it a lot, like Forever Bowls, Bowling, and Forever Pool. They take place in the same universe. Like they actually, like the levels are actually in the same locations. And I just would love it if, should we do some bowling? It's just like what Rec Room was good at. You could play these different things, like Rec Room. The bowling room. You could bowl your ball, and then when you're waiting for your turn, you could go over to a pool table and play pool, and it was just this like social environment. And so I feel like when it comes to casual games are right, but we think about this with we were talking the other day, Brian, about was it just called Russian Roulette or Roulette VR or
Bullet Roulette?
Oh, Bullet Roulette, that's it. Great game, but it was so narrow, and you're just like, if only these games came together. And it's why these games like Rec Room do work well, because people create these casual gaming experiences where you can mix and match and say to your friends, what do we fancy playing? And yeah, look, Cornhole's going to probably be fun, but I'm going to be playing it going, why couldn't this been a part of these other two games, or at least like being linked up? And I think it's where it sort of speaks to the metaverse and having these big social spaces where you can dip and dive into what you want to do. That's my view anyway.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like Forever Sports missed a great opportunity to say, hey, here's Forever Sports, and it's free to download. And you get to hang out with your friends and fuck around and I don't know what kind of random shit you could be doing, and then say but there's a door here, a door there, whatever, and that's like paid DLC. Each of these games are coming out for $20 a pop. That feels really expensive for these single individual experiences. For again, what seem very much like casual games. Getting everybody into Forever Sports and then selling each of these games as like $10 DLC. linking everything together, like you said, and being able to like bounce from sport to sport with your friends and not having to say, okay, everybody, we're going to quit and then we're going to load up this other game and well, we'll have to party back up in there. Like that's just, it's obnoxious. And I really wish that they had thought about this as for something they could do on PSVR2 specifically, at least, even if it doesn't work on other headsets.
Yeah, I'd like these more as like a cheap, like I like to call them stocking stuffers. Like they're like really cheap $5 games or so. But yeah, these games are like I've played Forever Bowl and Forever Pool, and they're expensive and they're crap. And so like I don't care. No, like I have zero interest in this. Like I like the idea of casual games or social games, sports games, things like that. But not when they're crappy and not fun to play and boring. That's the opposite of what gaming should be.
So I've only played a little bit of Forever Bowl, and I was like, I still, even after bowling around, I was like, I still don't know if this is good or not. Like, it felt really weird to release the ball.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's literally a bowling game that has bad bowling physics. Like that's,
and you have 3 to choose from.
Yeah, like no, like they failed. If it was good, it'd be one thing. But it's just they're not quality. It just comes off as kind of cash grabby, cheap shit.
I'm just annoyed that I'm still trying to get. I should have the platinum for bowl, and there's a glitch for the last trophy of getting the best score of the week. And every month they tell me that they're still looking into it for about 5 months now. And it's like
exactly
outrageous.
You're
I could have been
never
their
gonna
biggest
get
champion for it, but I can't even bring myself to say anything good about it. Yeah, the Forever games, they feel like, the way I describe them, it's like you're inside a mobile game in VR.
Exactly.
And it's because like all the cosmetics are amazing. Like in Forever Bowl, all the different bowling balls are awesome. They have one that's like a fish bowl, and like you're looking at it and you can see the fish in it and you're turning it around. It's really, really cool. The issue with Forever Bowl is there are 3 types of throwing mechanic. One that's like non-assist, one that's semi, and then one that's like fully assisted. And that's fine. But if you're then competing people online, there's no like, oh, for this match, you're agreeing on this type of assist. You just play the easiest assist the whole time. And I kind of feel like that takes away the fun and stuff. And then pool, Forever Pool, you're like,
oh, those mechanics, man.
You're not even doing it properly. It feels weird.
Yeah.
And then doesn't matter what opponents you play as, the computers, whether they're the hardest opponent in the game at the end of the campaign or the first, you get the same amount of coins each. So just like, it feels like they've built these great worlds, although I think the resolution could be better and stuff. But it's just like when it comes to the core gameplay mechanics, there's just a lot of things that they've missed out on. And yet they're getting ready to publish a 3rd game when it's like, yeah, get the first 2 in order first.
Steve Irie says, just buy a real dartboard if you want to play darts. You can go buy a real dartboard for $5, and I guarantee you'll have way more fun than playing this VR game.
Listen, I don't know how good the darts game is going to be, but I do know that I don't have a space for a dartbout, and not everybody has a house.
The physics are way more realistic
in real life. Yes, IRL is always more realistic. But yeah, I mean, I don't have space for a dartboard. I don't have space for really anything around here. And so, these are the kind of things,
Brian. You just don't know it.
These are the kind of things that virtual reality like make possible. Being like, oh, this is great. I get to be outside, and like I don't have a backyard, so I get to play cornhole with my friends or my family or whoever. But yeah, if it sucks, then it sucks. There's no getting around that.
Cornhole, pool, bowling, those are a little bit different, but a dartboard, everyone's got room for a dartboard.
I don't understand this mentality. Everyone has room for a dartboard.
It takes 5 feet to have a room for a dartboard, Brian. Have you ever had a dartboard? You don't.
I've never had 5 feet.
I had one as a kid, and I had to have a massive board put behind it for every time I missed, so it wasn't making a hole in the wall.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Stick it on your ceiling.
Well, hopefully somebody can step in, whether it's Rec Room, whether it's whoever, right? Maybe a more competent game developer.
There you go. you could stick the dartboard on your ceiling,
Oh
and
my
then you can
God.
play survival darts. Lay down on your back, and
Oh.
you can add a survival element to this.
Right.
Make it more interesting.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my
I'm changing the name.
Okay,
It's
I'm
called
done.
Dodge
I'm-
Darts.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah. Yeah,
Promise.
I'm done.
I'm getting anxious just thinking of that idea, AJ. That's horrible.
That's
Survival, the Walking Dead darts.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you got to love this. This week we had an announcement of an announcement. I can never get enough of that. That we're going to be getting some news about Phasmophobia on consoles soon. I'm going to bring up the Steam page with the exact wording. But I do have to say,
This
just
week.
like the Aces of Thunder, update. I love that there's an update, right? Because so many people, the second they don't hear about a game for like 3 or 4 months, they go, "Oh, it's obviously canceled." Obviously canceled. Right now, the developers are definitely not head down working on the game. It's obviously canceled. So these always make me happy, because just lets people know. Don't worry, the game's not actually canceled. All right, let me see if I can get this up and running here.
I'm excited about this.
Here we go.
Now that we've gotten Madison and it delivered, this is the next one on my list.
Let's see. Yeah, this is high on my list. It's not the highest, but it is high. So yeah, under console it says, we appreciate your patience and understanding regarding the delay of Phasmophobia for consoles. Our team is still working to meet the high standards we set for the game. While we understand that delays can be disappointing, we believe the wait will be worth it. Our goal is to ensure that the console release delivers the best possible experience at release. We will share more information on the development and plans for the console within the next few weeks. At this point, guys, do you think it's we're already in June, July, August, September, October, 4 months until spooky season rolls around? Not even. Are they just better off delaying the game, taking their time and getting the console versions out October 1st, something like that, to really take advantage of the spooky season?
Hell yes. Just don't do it on October 31st, because then it's like,
Right?
yeah, I hate it when people do that. Like, no, do it at the beginning of October.
Yeah,
so we
let's
can
build
have
up to it.
fun. Yeah, like all month long. Like it's spooky season, and don't give a spooky day.
Yeah, you're
but
right. 31st is the grand finale. That's what it
Right,
feels like. Yeah.
exactly. So many people release games. Like, I get it. Like, it's like, yeah, this is coming out on Halloween, but it's like, well, then the next day is no longer spooky season. So it's
By
like,
Halloween, people have already made their plans.
yeah,
You're not going to say, let's wait until Halloween of whenever it launches and then do it. People
Yeah.
want to have it set up. Like, have you bought it? Have you bought it? Great. We'll do it on Halloween now.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree with you completely.
Also, October
But-
traditionally tends to be like a ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for flat screen gaming, but it tends to be a ridiculous month for VR gaming. Like, I think if you go back in PSVR history,
yeah.
October is always slammed. The first couple weeks.
September and October.
Yeah.
Lit.
So listen, we're talking about Phasmophobia as if it's actually coming out in October. It could very well be out in the next month or two, which would be fine with me too if it's ready to go. But yeah, I would definitely warn developers about getting your game mixed into insane season. It always happens every single October. There's always this surge of games that come out. I try to stay on top of shit, and then there's one game that's always gets the shaft. Always, there's always one, right? I still feel bad for O-Shape. Literally got like no coverage on PSVR 1 because it came out in the same I think week as Until You Fall and Swordsman VR and Budget Cuts. I mean, it was just crazy. Sometimes we go a week or two without a new game, and then then you get, oh, here's 7 new games in the same week. Fuck you.
Yeah, and it's with all the delays that happened so far too. Us waiting on games like Wanderer getting delayed. Behemoth is scheduled for fall release. We'll have to wait and see, of course, because last year there was supposed to be 20 releases, and there ended up being jack shit.
Oh right, forgot about that.
But yeah, there was one game that came out during spooky season, and it came out right after, and it was Vampire the Masquerade Justice, and it came out November 2nd or something. But yeah, you're right though. There is this tradition of at least a lot of games planned or scheduled for usually like late September, end of September, and then all of October. But if that's the case, then so be it. Like I'd be down to have a really eventful fall season with a bunch of great releases.
I mean, look at what we've got coming up, man. Like all the games that are slated to launch this year still don't have release dates, right? Or most of them don't even have release windows. Or I think Behemoth is one of the only ones that said like what Q4, I think is what they said, Q4 2024. And so, beyond that, Zombie Army, we got Metro, we've got help me out. It's just there's a ton of them, and so many that I've like
Metal Hellsinger, Zombie Army, Metro,
Alien VR.
That's holiday.
But they said holiday. Okay. Arcane Age is supposed to be out like sometime soon. We are I think we might be in for a mini summer lull, but then I think we're gonna get hit really hard with like just quality release after quality release. It's all coming.
Yeah, I've heard that VR developers have learned to kind of try and avoid summertime because especially out in the UK, it gets extremely hot, and for some reason, y'all don't have air conditioning.
Yeah, what is that about, Miles?
Why don't you have air conditioning?
Explain your country to us.
Do I need to move out there and start an air conditioning business?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You're trying. Right, it's going to be a good business opportunity. Yeah, we've never needed it because we're quite high up.
You complain about the heat wave every summer, like you're.
Like we just never did. The last 3 or 4 years, it's like really ramped up.
Okay, so
I mean, I do have an aircon unit in my bedroom, but it's one of those ones where you have a pipe and you put it out the window. But like to actually build it in, I don't know what it is. Like if I was to put an aircon unit here that went outside, it would cost like $2,000 to $3,000 just for that one unit. I
didn't mean to change that, and I was just joking around too.
No, I know, but it is interesting of just like how ridiculous it is.
Looper and GameCat Photo Nutter in the chat remind us in Flippy Nuggets. Wanderer, Fragments of Fate is also coming up soon.
Oh yeah,
it's like a lot of quality. All right, you guys. Here, let me tackle a couple tips, and then we're going to get on to the mid-year discounts. Do you guys need a link for that? Do you have it?
I've got it. I got it.
Let's see what we got here. We've got Ryan Siberas with the Canadian $5 tip says, "How's it going, Brian, AJ, and Miles?" He spelled both of our names wrong, Miles.
That's fine.
It's going fucking great. I played Sackboy's Adventure in VR, Returnal in VR this morning. I'm feeling great, man. And then after the show, I'm gonna play Ghostwire Tokyo and because I picked that up for $6.99.
Wow.
Yes, I got return. Well, I got all these on super big discount, man. It not on Steam. Like there's like external websites, and I got all this shit dirt cheap too. It's wonderful. Can't wait for that adapter.
Dude, I've just clicked on the mid-year discounts, and I think it's just for the UK. There's only 2 things on discount, and it's both of them are The Murder of Sherlock Holmes.
Here's the link for you. If this puts you into the US one.
Oh, GameCat says playing Rescue Mission. Very nice. I actually do have my PSVR hooked up as well, and I got lenses for my PSVR 1, and I did play some Rescue Mission as well. Like, goddamn, dude, PSVR 1 still rocks. I'm so glad I held on to it, because playing that, like Wipeout and AstroBot Rescue Mission, so much fun.
The Bat in the GameCat in the chat says, "Curious, has there been any news on Vertigo 2 getting some breaking glitches fixed yet?" This has been a conversation happening over on our Discord. I did provide an email address for everyone to, just there's no way around it, guys. Just swarm perp with all of your, with all of your issues and all of your bugs. Send them videos, send them descriptions, tell them what's happening. That's the only way we're gonna, it's the only way that's gonna happen. If they don't hear complaints, then they're not going to fix anything. Same goes for Madison. I've heard some people say that some of the shit that should be fixed, some of the stuff that seemed like it was fixed for me when I reviewed the game, is not always fixed. So please, like, keep pester them if you have to. You know what I mean? Like, get the word out and tell them what you're experiencing. The problem with bugs is that not everyone experiences the same bugs, right? They're very hard to replicate sometimes. So please, if you need these things fixed, we all need these things fixed. So please do what you can. Post it in the Vertigo channel, Vertigo 2 channel on our Discord. Sorry. But yeah, it's going well, Ryan. Thanks for asking. You heard that. Parasite 82 Green with the 5 quid says, "Hey GameCats, I just finished Still Wakes the Deep about 10 minutes ago, and wow, what an experience. Hopefully it works great on UEVR." Bro, I gotta say something about
It looks amazing.
Still Wakes the Deep. This is by the Chinese Room, which made a lot of walking sims on PS4, and man, these are the kind of games that like would work so well in VR. Right? Walking sims are games that like you're taking in the narrative, you're just kind of experiencing the world as you walk from place to place. And I apologize. I watched the IGN review on Still Wakes the Deep, so it seems like a walking sim, because and it wasn't even really like, it doesn't sound like there's like much exploring to do, but like these are the games that would work so well in VR because like you're just taking in the world. Right? You're taking in the world. And so just being in the world and experiencing and going from place to place is most of the game. And it drove me insane that we still haven't seen Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Miles, what's the one that you really like?
What Remains of Edith Finch.
Thank you.
All of these so good.
All of these games need to be in VR. It would be the most beautiful way and probably the most emotional and personal way to take them in. Bums me out, man, because that's how I would play this game for sure.
Well,
did you see
it's Unreal Engine?
Did you see this week a new game was announced? The Quiet Place, a Quiet Place game.
Yeah, I did see that.
I saw something about that. Yeah,
that in VR would be hardcore. It looks amazing.
It would.
I'm not going to get into a big PC VR talk, but this is why I love Unreal Engine VR.
Oh,
because
for sure.
It's just like all these games that we say, "Oh, I wish that was in VR. Oh, I wish that was in VR." Well, now you can. Like they are. And they're awesome. So again, I know we like to keep it on the console, but at this point,
but it impacts the console because if they start seeing concurrent users playing these mods are high, then it puts the pressure on the devs to go, right, well, we can't just port it like for like. We better take this and these learnings and make it happen. So
yeah,
I think keep shouting about it because this is how we're going to get more games.
Yeah, my UEVR experience so far has been very much like the closest thing to PlayStation VR that I have experienced. Like it's like because it's just what we wanted. It's what we want. All these games, a lot of flat screen games tend to be better games than a lot of built for VR games. Those are better at demonstrating the tech. Flat screen games are usually better at just being games with their content and mechanics and stuff like that. So to have this option is really I think going to be like the best of both worlds in the end.
Yeah, it is shocking to me, like you, especially with you talking about how great the Spyro games are in VR with like no modification needed. Sackboy's Venture in VR, it's like these are absolutely things that Sony shouldn't even be thinking about. I know that Activision, I believe, is the publisher of Spyro games these days, but Sony needs to be getting on this stuff that would make awesome hybrid games where they literally have to do no work, where you don't have to get all these first-person interactions in. There's no fucking excuse at this point. Like, these are the games we want. We desperately want a platformer, like an awesome AAA platformer in VR. So get Sackboy on that shit, Sony.
Yeah, and I definitely will add that it's not like, for Spyro and Crash, that does work. But for a lot of these other ones, most games, it does take some tinkering. It does take some knowledge. I've spent hours and hours so far getting all these games to work. But it has been 100% worth it because it's literally what it sounds like. I mean, it's Returnal in VR with motion controls. Like, it's taken a lot of figuring out, especially from, having, like I said earlier in the episode, having to learn years of just PC VR basic stuff. And UEVR, you got to have some kind of like knowledge of it. You got to have, it's a little bit more advanced than just native PC VR games. So, I kind of had to like work backwards, had to learn how to walk before I could run. But, man, once the time comes, like, and we get that adapter, like, I can't wait to add that on to the also amazing like hopefully amazing game library of games that continues to build.
Alex Lim in the chat says Sony needs to port Puppeteer to PSVR2 and PS5. Dude, fucking preach, dude. Preach. Man of my dreams right there. Alejandro D, Cat Allergic Game Cat with the $5 tip says we need a Wii Sports in VR and a bar games in VR. Like you're in a bar, listening to music, playing pool, darts, bowling, axe throwing, etc. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we talked about Rec Room, we talked about these games that are coming, the darts game, the cornhole game, whatever. But man, it's like we have these amazing games like Racket Fury that I never play because again, how long do I want to play table tennis for? Do I really want to start that up and go in and find people to play with, and then they'll be like, okay, now that we're done with table tennis, let's go start up another game. And there's plenty of examples like that.
PokerStars VR, I know it's not called that anymore, seems to be the closest we've had to a social experience.
Yeah.
Which is saying something.
Agreed. Yeah, no, thanks, Alhambra. Man, sorry. Grandpa's Barbecuer Game Cat with the Australian $5 tip says, Brian, since moving to only one episode a week, you seem much more relaxed and non-tired. Good to see. Thank you. I'm glad I seem that way. Virtual Slayer Cat with the 100 Canadian dollars says, long time no see, guys. Got back into VR this week, so came by to donate. Virtual Slayer Cat, that is super duper sweet. Thank you for your generosity.
Back. Slayer Cat, what up, man? Good to see you. And thank you.
Yeah, what have you been playing, Virtual Slayer Cat? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, where you been?
Yeah, right. You cheating on us, motherfucker. All right, guys. Let's check out this sale. It's not amazing. Let's preface it with that. But there are some decent titles that if you haven't picked up yet, you should definitely be picking up. So let's check it out. Check it. There we go. All right, guys, there's starting at the very first row here. Cube VR is 20% off, $24 instead of $30. I don't remember, because it's been a while since we talked about Cube, where you guys stood on that. Do you think it's a good price?
What's the price?
It's 20% off, so it's $24 instead of $30.
I think if you weren't going to be getting it anyway because you weren't sold on the concept, I don't think this is enough to get you over the line, personally. I think it's great for what it is, but it's not like a full-fledged Minecraft game. It's like a very zen, explore the world and do. So, yeah, I'd say if you haven't been sold on it up to, I don't think 20% off is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think you should buy it. I think it's a fucking fantastic game. And yeah, I love this game to death. I'm not really even like I'm not someone that can take full advantage of the game because obviously I just don't have the time or dedication to build some of the amazing stuff we've seen people build. But that being said, like even just doing the tutorial or the mission log stuff and getting the platinum in like 20 hours was a wonderful experience. And yeah, great. if you're into like just I think it's got really good VR mechanics, like VRAF mechanics and serene environments. If you're into that kind of thing, like if you're not into something like No Man's Sky, like if you can't appreciate No Man's Sky for like the beauty that it is, then you probably wouldn't like this. But if you can, then you'd like just the atmosphere and the mechanics and stuff. Yeah, I would highly recommend Cube. Yeah. Cube.
No denying it's a beautiful game. It is stunning to be in that world. But yeah, for me personally, yeah, I just need the updates that they're bringing. Like these. It's not like I'm asking for things that aren't coming. So the stuff that I am waiting for is all on the way, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this game evolves. I completely agree with what Miles said. If you weren't sold at 30, you shouldn't be sold at 24. However, it's a risk worth taking, I think, to see if it is for you or not. Jurassic World Aftermath. It is 65% off, so it's only $10.50 rather than $30. I'll start this one off. Sirens on my end. Not a great game. However, especially with the, I don't think the stealth mechanics are all that great, and of course with the cell shaded graphics, I don't think it's terribly scary, which I think it needs to be to kind of put the fear of God into you with these animals, with these dinosaurs. But for $10.50, if you're curious about it, this is definitely the right price.
Yeah, and it goes under $10 if you have PlayStation Plus. So,
oh yeah, 5%.
I say
off,
no.
5% more.
I hate this game.
Do you hate it? Really?
I hate this game. It's the most boring game it's the most boring game I've ever played. And it's got dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, I think most boring it's not the most boring game I've ever
It's
played.
not the most boring, but it's super boring and terrible storytelling, and it looks and just nothing is good about it. Like nothing is good / great. It's very below average game.
Yeah, I definitely want to say that. Like, I'd gotten pretty far along in my review of it and have never gotten around to finishing it. I think my score was like a 5.5 or something like that. So like very, very, I was below average, I guess. Drunken Bar Fight, 30% off. It's $12 instead of $17. Can we just repeat the same thing you said for Cube Miles? If you weren't sold before, you should be sold now.
Yeah, agreed.
What about Kill It With Fire? You guys a fan for $9 instead of $15?
I think it's 5% more. I think for this price, it's pretty decent. It's not like the most mind-blowing game, but I had a good time with it. I played it until the end. There are collectibles, things to do. It's a fun thing to put others in and see them play. Lots of customization. I think for like $8, if you're doing it with the extra 5%, 40% off. I think worth giving it a try. But it's always that thing of like, if you were on the fence, I think definitely pick it up now.
I'm sorry, but hard pass.
Hard pass. Yeah, I enjoyed the first few levels of it. Like, I really was creeped out by the spiders, the sound effects, the kind of like, banging a violin with the bow, like that kind of stuff. It really got to me. But I think as soon as that wore off a little bit, I started to lose interest.
It feels too much like a last gen game for me.
Yeah, I mean,
like, if it was last gen, I think I would have maybe enjoyed it more. Maybe people new to VR would enjoy it a little bit more, but it's way too last gen for me.
Yeah. It has a job simulator type feel to it, for sure. It's like Spider Simulator. I'm going to guess that this is probably one of the best deals in the list without even going through them all. Red Matter Collection is 25% off, so 5% more with Plus, so it's $30 or even cheaper rather than $40.
Do it. It's like it's a must.
Yes, Red Matter 1 and 2.
Buy it at any price. Buy it at full price. You should have had it yesterday.
Glad you're sticking with us, AJ. Thank you very much. The conversation in the chat is way more interesting than the one we're having here, though. So, I'll take what I can get. Sorry, I lost my window, unfortunately. Hello Neighbor. I'm going to blast through a couple of these if that's okay. I don't want to spend like a million years on each of these. Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue is half price. Has anybody been into that recently?
I haven't been back on it, so I have no idea if it looks decent at all.
I know they patched it. They did improve it, but I don't know. Like I haven't heard a single person say they like it even after it was patched. So I would stay far away. It looks so
abysmal.
Yeah, I didn't.
But yeah, so it's a no. It's a no.
Yep, definitely thumbs down. Car Mechanic Simulator VR.
I played this and I found it incredibly frustrating compared to a lot of the other. Like Cooking Simulator VR was great. This I had it was just poor tutorialization and everything. So it's an absolute no from me.
You get to actually race the car though eventually, right? You actually finally get to drive it around the track. Yeah,
I was actually quite surprised about the locations. That like there is that cool stuff. I think if you're into car mechanic stuff, like you're really into your cars, then yeah, I definitely think give this a go. But for me, as someone who was trying to learn about it, nah. Whereas Cooking Simulator, it really does hold your hand and teaches you how to cut an onion, which I thought was really, really educational.
Peaky Blinders, The King's Ransom. This has actually been fixed. It was blurry as hell.
Yeah,
at launch, and it's sharp now, but it just makes the reprojection stand out 10 times more. There's not much to this game. I was actually thoroughly bored playing it. So even at 30% off, I would pass. Anybody else?
I'd pass.
Peaky Blinders, pass.
Yeah. Drain to Foundation, 40% off. So it's 24 instead of 40.
I don't know if they've patched much of this. I'd spoken with one of the team recently, and they've been taking on all the feedback in that. So I don't know if they've put it into there. I found it very frustrating to play, but I'd be willing to give it another try. I think if you're into like novels, like stories, interactive stories, and go in with that perspective, and or if you're a fan of the actual franchise or the IP, then I definitely would say go for it. But if you're like on the outside, I hate to say it, but probably not.
Yeah, I actually liked several things about this game, or certain things about this game, but I'd still probably say pass, which sucks because I do like things about it.
This is actually on top of my list of games that I missed that I want to go back and actually play now that I have time, give a proper review to. So I am curious, but also like I feel like I've come around on certain things, right? Recently I played Metropolis 2 and actually enjoyed the conversations I had with characters and standing in one place and listening to them talk and going through dialogue trees. Same thing with Sushi Ben. Holy crap, that whole game is a visual novel. Like these are not games that I should have enjoyed. And so, maybe going back Journey to Foundation that actually let you climb and shoot and other stuff. It's not just talking to people. I think I'm gonna enjoy it, or at least enjoy it a lot more than I would have a few months ago.
As long as you like, it depends on if you're okay with the fact that it's a very narrative driven game. Yeah. Like it, I think it works in that regard. But it's not going to be like anything super special story wise. But I think it does I think mechanically and stuff, it's like competent enough.
Miles, tell us the truth now that you're not working for Rapid Eye Movers anymore. C Smash VRS, it is 20% off or 35% off with Plus. So it's less than $15 instead of $20, which was already dropped from $30.
This is an absolute yes. Like all the modes, the latest mode they added, the weekly time trial one is like an incredible thing. It was actually something I toured with them on to the squash championships in the UK, and it was done with like the PSA branding, and it was like so beloved that it got put into the game as like an official mode, and it's like the most fun I've had on it. And I was looking at the photo because that's been updated, and I've just checked online, and it is Cyborg Angel, who's a UK VR player, so she's now a part of their promo, which is pretty badass. But yeah, for me, this is the time to jump in. Like on a price like that, it feels good to play. It's always a game that would be a top 25 consideration. The reason I never put it in there fully is until it has cross-play, it's really going to struggle because multiplayer is a great component of it, and unfortunately it doesn't work. But the main campaign's great. They've got some really interesting modes. The Infinity mode's really cool. And the new time attack mode is really good as well. So yeah,
I'm gonna back Miles up here and say hell yes. This game is super fun. It took me so long to get to it because there was just so many games at launch and after launch. But yeah, to your point, like the content that they've added to the game, it's really fun. It's really stylish. I love the music. I love the modes.
music's so good.
I love doing just the journey mode or whatever, where you just play like 5-10 levels in a row and you just go for a fun ride and like, yeah, it's got good gameplay, all the things, man. I strongly recommend C Smash VRS as well. Once I finally got around to playing it, I've actually really enjoyed it. I wish I had a little bit more. I wish I've played it more than what I have, because honestly, I still haven't played it like a ton, but it is a good, if not great game.
Yeah. The last thing I'd add about it just quickly was one of the things they added was, I think one of the trophies to get the platinum is you have to get or maybe it's not, it's one of the DLC trophies is you got to get like an A rating in all of the different maps. And you're like, oh my goodness, you have to go through Journey and work it out. They've got now a stage select, because it has like hundreds of stages, and each of them have their own charts and like high score leaderboards and that, and so you can play the same one, and it's just really satisfying. It has that classic arcade feel of trying to get the high score, so they've really lent into its DNA, and yeah, love it for it.
Tentacular's half price. It's $12.49 instead of $25. I've only played the first couple hours of this, and
it's a tough game, man. I do want to go back to it.
physics-based
like-
puzzle game, which
Yeah.
is not what I expected it to be, and
No.
really ended up enjoying it.
Yeah, same. It's a good price, 50% off.
I like that. I like the mechanics of the game. Like I think it's well designed, but I just don't like the game overall. So pass for me.
It's super cute. I love having big tentacle arms in VR, and trying to do delicate things with them. So yeah, if you're into puzzle games, you should definitely check it out. Not for broadcast VR. I honestly haven't played this. It's 40% off. It's an extra 5% with Plus.
Oh wow.
So it's $15 instead of 25. I haven't played this since the episode Ryan from the VR Grid and I did together, and talked
I
about
want to
this.
get back to it, man.
Yeah, it's the kind of game. It's just
I want to see where it goes. Yeah.
it's narratively, right? Because that seems like the reason to play this is to see see what you're cutting out of these news stories and like to get the full story about this stuff. It seems like you really have to like, if you're not interested in the story that's being told, you are screwed because there's not exactly a ton of gameplay outside of taking all that in. You know what I mean? But something that really doesn't get done in VR very frequently. So, you know, it's going to be up to the person, I think, more than anything else. I think it's a good price for what it is. Has anybody played Beat the Beats VR? It's 20% off, $16 instead of 20.
I want to start doing it as a part of my daily routine. It looks really good in the headset. The haptics are amazing. The music's fine. A lot of it funnily enough, one of the songs in it is from Motion Array, which is this like audio library website, and I used it in one of these promo videos we did at the cybersecurity company I was in. So it was really weird being in a VR game, getting ready to work out, and then I'm just having these memories of some promo thing that we did. But yeah, it looks really good in the headset, and the haptics are awesome. There's definitely some criticisms I have, but I think that if you want a fitness app and you're like, I want something different from Beat Saber and stuff like this, yeah, I'd say this is one worth jumping into.
I have not.
I wish it was a bit more than 20% though.
What are the other games that are like this that have come out recently? Because I don't even know if I've played this one. They'll just run together.
Oh, there's
Box to the Beat.
Box the Beat.
Okay, that's the one I played. I haven't played this one.
Yeah,
I got to check this one out. There's a bunch of Walkabout mini golf stuff, a bunch of puzzling places stuff. 2MD VR football, 25%
that's fun,
off.
man.
Yep.
So it's like proper arcadey. They said it was made for not just American football fans, but for like people that are new to it. And that was my first experience of American football. And I mean, it's really like old school. It's like being in a Mega Drive game, or a Sega Genesis game.
It's basically janky. It's like indie janky NFL Blitz VR, and I love it for that.
And it's by the people that did Runner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game. I remember not wanting to review this on PSVR1 and being like, I don't fucking care about football. And then the developers were like, we'd really love it if you could you please try? And I'm like, all right. And then I was like, this is actually really fucking fun. So I came around PSVR1 and they've added so much stuff since the PSVR1 version. It feels like a more complete game now. So yeah.
And you can play robots. You can fight against robots.
Amazing.
Which I never knew was a thing in American football, but there you go.
I still haven't played Kazuna AI Touch the Beat.
Oh no! Don't do it ever.
Oh yeah, that.
Do not support that shit.
Yeah,
I fucking played it.
Yeah.
No, Miles.
I actually said like if I was a fan of her, it'd be amazing. Like you do all the
no, it's terrible. It's such a bad game. Like wow,
so look at all this. I was wondering why there was 64 items. It's because they're all packs.
Yeah. Listen, if you want to know what our favorite Walkabout DLC is, fine, but we're not going to go through each one individually.
Just to be clear, Kazuna AI is a no from me, by the way. Just to be clear. Oh, there's Box to the Beat.
Thank you.
Box to the Beat VR, to their credit, I'm sorry, I'm looking at your screen on delay, so sorry if I'm responding really late. But Box to the Beat, those guys they've changed the game so much. They take on the feedback. Like they're devs that if you like the games where you're like, if you have feedback, you like the sort of indie devs that respond and actually make changes you request. These guys are doing it. Like I've been really, really impressed with them. But 30% off, no, I wouldn't suggest it. Operation Wolf Returns. Oh man, no way was that a $30 game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's a $17 game.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
Oof.
it just feels so bare bones and doesn't feel like something you want to replay. It's not doesn't have the appeal of a real arcade-like gun shooter. So
It doesn't save your score at the end. Your score just disappears. Like, and they had a leaderboard thing on the main page of that. Like, oh my god.
and they have an Operation Wolf classic arcade machine that you can't
That's
play. Come on.
And they have tin cans, and you have a gun, and if you shoot it, it just bounces off them because it's a part of the scenery. It's not for interaction. Yeah, it's just.
You can literally see that they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll make all this interactive before the game comes out," and then that just never did it. Shaven stuff is 25% off or 30 with plus. So
I didn't know this was a game.
Oh really?
Is this a PSVR2 game?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. I need to add that to my Let's Play list. All
Yeah,
right.
I think Wes and I talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's listen, it's cute. That's what I'll say about it. It's great. I think it's great for kids. I think
Is it educational?
No,
Educational as well?
it's not.
Oh.
But you tattoo people, you cut their hair. Basically, they come in with a picture of like what they want, and then you have to go, okay, you put the picture up on the wall, and then you like, you cut their hair, you color their hair, and you do everything, and you try to get as close as you possibly can for 3 stars.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then you tattoo them as well. And so I think it's really cute, but I very quickly fell off and was like, man, I think maybe kids would enjoy this way more. Yeah.
It
Awesome.
seems silly and charming.
Say again?
I said it seems silly and charming, but there's just so much other stuff I'd rather play.
I'm gonna let's play it soon.
Awesome asteroids for holy shit. It's usually $8, which is insanely cheap to begin with. 45% off or 65% off if you have Plus.
Wow, yeah.
One of the few games to support the HOTAS, right?
Yeah.
And it looks really nice in the headset. Runs at a nice native 90, I believe. I think this is fun, and for
Good platinum.
couple hours of nice arcade gameplay, I think it's worth picking up. It's like as much as a coffee.
If you're a trophy hunter, get it. It's a good platinum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did like the eye tracked turret gun too.
Yeah, that was super cool.
That was good. Yeah. D-Day Enhanced. We got 2 versions of it. There's the Gold Edition and the Special Edition. I actually don't know what the difference is. So let's go with the cheaper of the 2. The Special Edition is 25% off, which makes it $15 instead of 20. But it's also 15% more if you're a Plus member. It's an online only game, really. So like if you're not a Plus member, you probably shouldn't be buying this. So I remember when this game was about to come out, and I was in there and I was having some issues with the frame rate and stuff, and then everything had kind of gotten to me. This is when I took, I believe, like 2.5 weeks off from the channel, so I never got around to actually reviewing this. I never was around for the updates and saw how this game evolved. Do you guys know the current status of this game or how it's doing?
No, and that's basically how I would recommend this game or not, would be if there are people playing, if there is like a player base for it. Really the best way to tell would be to jump in myself and find out. I'd prefer to know for myself, but from what I've heard, there's not really much anybody playing, so it makes it hard to recommend. I like the game itself, but if there's nobody playing it, then I can't recommend that,
Yeah, it's a game that if they did like once a month have like a multiplayer session that they did get full servers on, I think it would be worth the price just once a month, being this like monthly club thing, because playing on these servers with 64 players is like super janky fun. Like it's so ridiculous, like laugh out loud moments. There was one time we were playing it and someone on the other team just started using, I think it was a grenade launcher or an RPG, and then everyone got them and the whole map was just people flying through the air, and it was just like, it's moments like that, like it's really special. But as you say, it's hard to tell with this if it's not got much of an ongoing player base.
Yeah, and that is what our Discord is good for. Like, I mean, people aren't playing. It's like this is where we get people together to play these games. But yeah, if you're just gonna jump in, then yeah, maybe not. Twilight Zone VR for $20. It's 20% off. It's $16. Man, let me get this out. This is this one is so I'm so torn on this one. It's so ridiculous because there's some really inventive ideas in this game, and like you're just not going to see this shit anywhere else. But I just didn't enjoy my time with it. And into high, there's 3 episodes, and I think 90% of the second episode is just so absolutely boring.
There's 5 episodes, aren't there?
3.
Is there only 3?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was more than that because I'm on the 3rd one. I didn't realize that was the final one.
Yeah, I only like about half of the 3rd one. I only like when you're in the house in the 3rd one. I think everything outside the house is lame. And then the first one is like this really terrible stealth game, but the way they do it is awesome, right?
Yes.
And so it's like, I mean, for me, it's like maybe wait for this to go on like a deep sale. Like maybe wait for it to be like $6 or $7 or something just to see what we're talking about. We won't spoil it, but I think it's just, I don't know. It's not very good. Otherwise,
I wish this was a PS Premium game. Like, because I think it's worth like kind of trying, but yeah, it's not really like a great game.
Yep.
It's got some cool things, like you said.
AJ, extol us with the virtues of Runner VR.
Buy Runner. This is my golden buzzer. If you only had to buy one game from the sale, buy Runner. Dude, I freaking love this game.
It's so good.
So much. I love the motorcycle. I love riding a motorcycle through a dark and gritty anime city. And I don't even really like anime, but I like the dark stuff, and this is more of the dark stuff. But it's a beautiful game. It has a freaking awesome soundtrack. It's got great haptics, adaptive triggers, and you're shooting at giant robots. This to me is like the Mega Man of VR, like the real Mega Man of VR experience, in terms of that just old school SNES kind of feel to it. And I love this game. And it's so cheap. It's usually $15, and I'm like everybody should buy this anyways. Like, it's so good, and it's I don't know, it's amazing. I love this game. Top 25, baby.
Poor Song in the Smoke. Tin Hearts. We'll skip over the DLC for everything. Tin Hearts, $12 instead of 20. Dude, I couldn't even get through all the levels in the demo on Tin Hearts. Like, I think there's something really wrong with this game.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yep. Did you play it at all, Miles?
What was the game again? Sorry, it just went jittery on the sound for me.
Tin Hearts.
No, that's something I've been trying to jump into because there was the whole thing with like the beta or something, and it was never quite ready. So when it finally came out, I never jumped on it. But I definitely want to try it. How does it feel? Is it the full game in VR?
I believe so. But but it looks like a PS1 game. The aliasing is terrible. The resolution's bad. You're teleporting around the room. Like, it's just nothing seems very clear. I get to a level and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. I don't feel like I can do anything. I don't know if it was broken or if I'm, I just found myself in a difficult situation and didn't know how to get myself out. So I'm going to give a thumbs down on that one. The Last Worker for 60% off. It's $8 instead of 20. Dude,
I liked it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say give it a thumbs up. I think this.
It looks really good in the headset. Yep, as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some weirdness to it. Like, I don't think the stealth sections are extremely well done or anything like that. But like I sort of just like the moment to moment stuff of like working in a warehouse, and there's some pretty decent humor in that. For $8, it's definitely worth checking out. Even though I think I gave it a relatively low score, 6.5, something like that. Oh, dude, I haven't played Zombie Bar VR. I played Horror Bar, which I'm assuming is pretty much the same thing on PSVR 1, but I have not played Zombie Bar Simulator VR. Miles, you played everything on PSVR 2. Have you played this?
No, so I haven't heard back from the devs on this one. So if it's on a good sale, I shouldn't probably say this publicly. I'll just buy it. What's the price? What's the sale price?
$16 instead of 20.
Oh my goodness! I didn't think it was gonna be that much.
I gotta look at the chat. I've had the chat covered up with this fucking massive window the whole time.
It's by is it Fun House? No, not Fun House.
It's VR Factory, I think.
That was it. VR Factory. That was it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea on this one, but I'll tell you, I am fucking tired of this kind of game. Right, like the Star Tenders type thing. With like characters come up and you have to like create the thing that they want exactly the way they want it. It's like I've playing these games for way too long. I lived this life for way too long. I don't care if they're zombies or real people. I'm tired of it.
I just want a multiplayer component. I said it was Star Tenders. I think it was cooking simulator VR. Like you want an Overcooked style game in VR where you and your friends are competing to see who can cook. You know, prepare things quick enough and. This is a shame.
So you want other people to suffer with you.
Yeah, exactly. You want to kind of see who can suffer quickest for the highest score kind of thing. Yeah.
The Murder of Sherlock Holmes. We'll go with the PS5 version. It is 29% off. Is that what it says? It's $14 usually, which I think when they launched they had it at 20, and now it's $9.93. Dude. And
you'll complete it quicker than what Brian just said in that amount of time.
Dude, it for real. I felt like I went in and I did everything, and I think I did it in 25 minutes or something like that. I forget how long it was.
You can complete it in 8 moves, the game, and then it opens up, and you're like, oh, is this? It sounds like it's the opening. Look, it's an indie developer. I actually think it's a really cool like escape room they've made, and there are some interesting puzzles in it.
Yeah.
But I did feel like I was shortchanged by the end of it. Like it felt like it was just getting started. So, yeah.
Honestly, if it was like $3 or something.
I was gonna say if it was a $3 like escape room thing, it kind of feels like a DLC sort of size. If it's a $3 thing, I'd be like, actually, yeah, give it a go. Yeah. Like, it's cute, it's cool. But yeah, that's a tough sell.
Yeah, super hard to recommend. Like even when it's cheap, it's super hard to recommend. We have so many great escape room games, so many great puzzle games. It's like AJ says, too much good stuff. Why even bother?
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, cool.
Mischievous Marcio has just gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Markio. Also, Scott, the PSVR Game Cap for life with the level 1 membership says tomorrow tooth out and watching. Hold on, I gotta move it. Watching England in the Euros. England in the Euros.
I'm not even doing that. Who are we playing? Oh man, I need to. Find out.
Sorry to hear you getting a tooth pulled, man. That's never fun. I get to the point where I was like, they're like, you really need a root canal, and I was like, just rip it out. I'm not doing root canals ever again. Those things are fucking stupid. Phil PP, the Game Cat with the $5 tip says, Game Cats with a racing wheel should try flat racing games in cinema mode. It's amazing. The Crew Motor Fest has a free demo, and you can fly or drive boats. Boats. That's. Am I the only one who doesn't do stuff in cinema mode?
I've tried it with some games and it made me feel ill. I did it with Doom Eternal and
really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. I think I just spend so much time in the headset that I don't want to use it when I'm not using it. AJ, I feel like I cut you off.
No, you're good. I don't have anything useful to add here because I don't.
I think it works well for some game modes. I think first-person shooters probably not so much if there's a lot going on because obviously you're kind of looking at it going, I'm expecting to be in the game. Whereas if you're playing a platformer, you're mentally, I think it'd probably be less motion sickness and stuff. So I should give it a go.
Shapeshifter, the Amorphous Game Cat gifted 5 without parole memberships. Wow, the generosity tonight, man. Everyone's so gifty. Thanks for gifting, everybody. It's very sweet of
y'all.
It's
gifty!
Gifted.
I haven't looked at the run of show in a while. Is it time to oh man, you know what it's time for? It's time for AJ the fuck out of this because it's 20 questions time and AJ is in fact the host. Miles and I got to team up here to get 20 yes or no questions, only 6 minutes on the clock with the help of the chat to figure out what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game he's thinking of. AJ, Spaghetti-O?
I have a game picked from a community member. Shout out to David David. I think his name. He's changed his name a couple times, but it used to be, I think, David GameCat Runs.
Okay. Yeah, our
but he
resident,
had
our resident speedrunner.
yes, our resident speed cat, and
Speed
yeah,
cat.
he had me pick a game. So this is all his doing.
You know, listen, I want to preempt this with anytime somebody goes, "Oh, this was submitted from somebody," somebody in the community. The community isn't like, man, I hope they get this. The community is generally like, this is one they'll never fucking get. So why do I feel like this is like extra hard mode right out of the box?
It's going to be pretty hard, but I'll give you a hint beforehand. It has 4 stars on the PlayStation Store and 56 ratings.
All right.
So there's your hint.
I bet Looper already knows the answer.
This one will probably challenge Looper.
Okay. On your mark.
But he'll still probably get it.
Miles, you ready for this?
No, but let's do it.
Get Des, go. Kick it off, Miles.
Is it on PSVR2?
No, it is not on PSVR2. I won't fuck around this time.
We're so screwed. Okay. Is it are you shooting guns?
No, you're not shooting guns in this.
Is it a puzzle game?
I don't think so. I would say no.
Not a puzzle game.
Let me see what the store description says.
Is there predominantly puzzles in it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Right.
Yeah, it's not a puzzle game.
Would you say it's narrative driven? Strong story?
It has a narrative, and it is somewhat narrative driven, but it's not a strong story.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my best to help you out here. I'm gonna anti-AJ the fuck
Are you playing as a human?
I don't think so. No. Shit. Are you? I mean, that's really besides the point. Yeah, you technically are playing as a human. Technically
as a human.
That's 5.
Okay. The chat's wondering what kind of controls it uses, so let me ask, does it use the DualShock 4?
It does use the DualShock 4.
That's good. Miles, do we want to find out if it also uses the moves, or are we okay with just go running with this?
I was going to ask if it uses any other light, so it opens up. But is it just going to be if it uses the aim controller, it would also use the moves, right?
No, usually the aim and the DualShock go hand in hand.
Oh, that was right. Okay, does it use the move controller?
It does not use the move controller.
Okay.
All right. I don't want to waste a question on the aim, I guess now.
No, yeah.
I like Wes's question in the chat. Do you fly?
You do not fly.
Okay. No fly zone.
Have they gone for a realistic? Have they gone for realism in terms of how it looks?
Negative.
So it's stylized.
DualShock 4. Not realistic. Not a puzzle game. I'm trying to think. DualShock 4 games that. Do you know if this developer's made other PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 games?
I only see the publisher on the store. No, I think this is the publisher and the developer. So I would say yes. Technically,
okay,
that's 10. There could be a different developer behind this, but it is a different developer.
If you look it up on the Steam store, that's usually where I get the developer and publisher listing separately.
Okay. I think just to clarify, I think the publisher has, but not the developer.
It's not going to be Trover. It can be Trover saves the universe. You do not fly, not moves, not a puzzle game. I mean, they're very not really.
But it had a good story.
Yeah, the developer has not made other things, but the publisher has.
Okay.
And you
So
are
it's-
technically playing as a human because you're playing as yourself.
So but it's definitely not because they did Accounting Plus as well, Squanch Games. So it's not it.
You're right.
Okay. People are asking about movement. So let's get this out of the way. Is there full locomotion?
That really depends on which, like traditional full locomotion. No.
So there's not full locomotion.
I mean, there kind of is.
Kind of is. Are you moving yourself around seamlessly with the
You are not moving yourself around seamlessly with freedom.
Are you on some kind of rail?
This game is not on rails. You're at 12.
There's no way we're getting to 20. We're gonna run out of time before that.
Are you in a vehicle?
You're not in a vehicle. And there are no vehicles.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to help you out here because this one's
Is it you're playing third person?
Yeah. I would say you're technically first person, but it's third person gameplay.
And yeah, is it a strategy game? Would you say?
No, it's not a strategy game.
Not a
That's
strategy
15.
There goes Skyland. No, whatever the hell it's called. There goes Corix. There goes.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Along Together is a.
You can all
puzzle
blame
game.
David the Game Cat Runs.
Was this game also playable on the flat screen?
No.
All right. Well, definitely. Sorry, it's not bound. Whoever suggested that, good guess. Dude.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Is it a platformer?
I would definitely classify this as a platformer, even though the thing doesn't really say. This is 100% a platformer, in my opinion.
Oh, man.
All right, we are out of time.
It's 17.
Is it Ghost Giant?
Is that your guess?
I mean, we're out of time.
It's
so
a puzzle game.
You get two guesses or two more hints and a guess.
Is it
two rapid fire hints?
It's not Ghost Giant.
Is it Mervils?
It's a puzzle game.
It is not Mervils or
what
Ghost
is it?
Giant. It is released December 3rd of 2018 by Dream Reality Interactive. And published by Rebellion. It is a comic book narrative-driven platformer where you control with your head a little ball.
Oh, the worst game ever made.
Called Arca's Path.
Oh
No,
my
I never played it.
God, I hate Arca's Path with a passion.
Mostly everybody did.
Oh my God, like neck strain within like 10 minutes. It's like, what if we do Marble Madness, but we make it suck? It's like,
Yep. It's kind of like Marble Madness with your head, where you control with your head. And it had like a comic book story that it tried to tell. The sad part is I interviewed these devs, and these were devs that actually worked on like Colony Wars and Wipeout. And I was like, dude, you have to make Colony Wars VR. And they were like, no, there's no way we could make that happen. And I was like, oh,
dude, this is a game that I feel like I chose to black out from my memory because I hated it so much. I couldn't believe, like you said, I mean, these are talented developers, but this keeps happening, like even Derosine, for as much as I love Derosine, From Software guys, come on, like make a From Software game for us. Like Derosine is great, but plenty of people doing that kind of stuff. Like let's give us something. People are scared of motion sickness in VR, and so they end up making something really underwhelming instead.
I was thinking about this recently. Over the past couple of years, especially the last like 5-7 years, we have seen a ton of developers with like huge like backgrounds, like that come into VR and then just you know, I don't know if it's because they're trying to them, the enticing part is to do something different
Right.
than the same shit that they've already done. And that's probably what happens a lot. I mean, you look at like what's the guy's name from Highwire that was on the Halo series?
Oh, even the Golem guy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
what was his
forget his
name?
name.
I can't Marty
Mick,
something.
is it
But
Marty
yeah,
Mick something?
yeah, that game Golem was actually pretty good minus the controls, but it just I was thinking about that lately. Yeah, just like thinking about all of these developers that jump into VR, that tried to jump into VR and just, you know, just kind of face planted. And this is yet another one.
Dude, there's people out there, even that work at VR studios, that like you can't treat VR like you can the like flat screen. You have to come at it differently. And I'm like, actually, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because we want the same amazing high quality games on the flat screen, in VR. So
Yeah.
yeah. Colony Wars would be amazing in VR. This is
Oh
such a
my
shame.
God, yes it would. I fucking love that game.
Just watching the gameplay of this is giving me a headache. Unbelievable. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight, as we do every Wednesday. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Subscribe to Miles over at youtube.com/Miles. These guys are doing great work. As was pointed out earlier, yes, we are down to one show a week here on Without Parole, one live show. But man, everybody else on the crew is killing it. Definitely picking up the slack. It is... It's awesome, you know, seeing Wes stream a couple of days a week. Miles is streaming all the time. AJ streams sometimes. Literally.
I have
every
I have
Thursday.
my one interactive chat every Thursday, and then I did actually recently publish my Bhaptics first impressions video, which was a lot of fun to make and really cool. Like I said, before I got distracted by PCVR, was having a ton of fun. I was having a ton of fun with that vest before I got distracted by PCVR. Marty O'Donnell, thank you,
Yeah, I
Geisen.
saw that. Thank you, Geisen. Yeah. PCVR. Yeah, I see how it is. Remember when he used to play video games? Now he just mods things.
Now I just tinker all day.
Yeah. Man, chat's gonna love it. But yeah, guys, really just it's awesome. It's awesome seeing all the content that's coming from all you guys and all the great streams that you're having. Make sure you go check out Miles' stream from today if you haven't already.
Thank you to everyone in the live chat who's been saying very nice things throughout. You've seen it. I've had texts from like friends I haven't heard from in a while, like during this show, saying they've just watched it and like, wow, what a video. So it's pretty moving. I'm gonna sleep well tonight.
Sorry, I'm like literally brain dead at this point. But anyway, guys, quick
You're
shout
in good
out.
company.
we're on the same boat. But quick shout out to Rhodey, the GameCat Army General, who puts timestamps into the show after the fact. Rypop, who uploads this on podcast services of your choice. Thank you, of course, to everyone who supports the channel financially over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Over here by being a member. Everyone who tips during the show. Thank you guys all. You're keeping the lights on. It means so much. But also, it's just the most important thing is like that you're here and you're part of this community. You're hanging out on Discord, that you're hanging out in the chat while we're doing this. And as I've said a million times before, before I started Without Parole, I was like the biggest fans of certain channels, but I literally never said a fucking word during their live streams or commented on their videos or even clicked the like button, right? And so I know there's people like me that are out there just watching this and they've literally never said a goddamn word. And we know you're out there. We love you just as much. Everybody brace for impact, because this might be the fucking greatest clip of the week you've ever seen.
Whoa.
Thank you so much. This is from Aceville VR. Let's do
it. Aceville!
Later, guys.
Aceville!
Love this level. Bruh, this not being in Without Parole top 25 is a travesty, an injustice, heresy of the highest order. Take that, Brian Paul. Yeah, in your face, Wes Dillon. Oh, snap. How you like that, Miles Dyer? Actually. Oh, man. Oh, I never saw you.
that was so good. From now on, if anybody has any objections to our top 25 debates or top 25 lists, your objections have to be submitted in the form of clip of the week, because that was the fucking funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Absolutely
That
love
was
it.
wonderful. I love it. Shout out to Pistol Whip, which is really good.
Right, dude? Like, oh my god, it blows my mind that you guys let us get away without Pistol Whip on the list. It blows my mind that I let us get away without Beat Saber on the list. There's like little holes in our top 25 list that make it far from perfect, but at the same time, I'm like, well, how would we have, what games do you ditch in order to get those games on there? And man, I just don't have a good answer. And so hopefully you guys are ready for a top 25 list when like November rolls around, or top 50 list when November rolls around.
I think it is because we're quite split on the like what rhythm games we're most into. Like some Synth Rider, Beat Saber, and so because we don't have all three on our list, I think that's where it struggles, right?
I think you're onto something.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I like the big four: Pistol Whip, Synth Riders, Res Infinite.
Oh, Res is so good. I think I'd have to pick Res over everything, even though it doesn't get like constant DLC or constant updates or anything. Res is
they
just
all
more
end
my
up
style.
canceling each other out for me.
That's great, guys. Are we interested in seeing what happened on this day and without Parole history?
Of course.
Let's do it.
Then let's see what we have to choose from.
If it's not every game in the PS5 library is going to be playable in VR, then I'm going to be disappointed.
All right, we can go to 2021 or 2022. You choose.
21.
21
it is. Here it
this
is.
Should be a good time.
Oh, wait a minute. We had this one last week. That can't be right.
Oh,
I must have gotten the dates wrong.
news. Fake news.
I know, right? It's ridiculous.
Totally fake. Fake news.
All right, well then screw it. We're going to 2022? I don't fucking know anymore, man. We're just going to click this one. See what happens. Coming to PlayStation VR 2, Shadowgate VR, The Minds of Mythrock. I remember
These are my favorite.
I remember it's still on our coming soon list over on Discord because it's like, well, you said it.
And you wonder why I'm so like pessimistic about games releasing sometimes.
Are you trying to tell me that Shadowgate VR, The Minds of Mythrock isn't coming to PSVR 2 at some point?
I have no idea. Probably not.
Probably not. We'll see. But I remember Wes and I both. There he is. Wes is in the chat. He goes, WTF? Where is it? Wes and I both played this on Quest in order to talk about it on the show, and it's crazy, man. It was a good game. It was a good game, and I really wanted to see where it was going to go, but I wasn't going to spend like 20 hours playing the Quest version. So I mean, I guess I should get in touch with him and see if it's still coming to PSVR 2. Actually, Wes, get on that shit. I don't want to do that. Awesome. All right, you guys. We love you so much. Have a great night.
See y'all.